Anyway, like I was saying, if you go up to somebody and you know that they're like former military, and you're like, "Hey, so and so sent you," and you don't get some version of like, "Oh, that dick,"
Yeah,
or
that
that
motherfucker.
asshole,
100%.
Right?
right?
Yeah.
Then you're like, I don't know if I can
Usually,
trust
the
this guy.
stronger the expletive to describe said friend, the
It's
better
true.
the friend they are.
And then you're
Right.
like, oh, okay, we're going to get along really well. And with that, hey guys, welcome back to I Came With Fire podcast. This week in the studio with us, we've got former military YouTuber, gun tuber extraordinaire, Twitch streamer, Tyler from Tundra Tactical. Tyler, thanks so much for coming on tonight.
Gentlemen,
Hell
thank you
yeah.
for having me on. Happy to be here, and can't wait to cause some chaos on the internet tonight.
Oh, I
That's all we
cannot
do.
wait. Like we
We've
were
been doing
saying
that all week, actually.
to our FBI agents and
Yep.
whoever
Hey,
else
guys.
listens in trying to get us. Hey, what's up? How you guys doing? Don't worry, you're getting here for tonight. As you guys know, I am Chris from Common Freaking Sense, and I Came With Fire podcast, current Green Beret, and now YouTuber myself. Going to get into it, and then with us, my glorious co-host over here, Brandon. I've heard it said once of you that there is no chin under your beard, just another fist.
It's true. It is.
That's
It is
what I
like
thought.
just like Chuck Norris. There's
Yes.
nothing under here except the fist.
That's right. I thought I
Yeah.
heard that somewhere before. Or that would be a
Mhm.
great spot for an EDC for both you guys, I was thinking. You could
That's-
probably hide
that's
like
I believe,
Although
I
Tyler's
believe
beard is more
to
glorious
bring
than
it into the industry, Chris Costa once said, "This could catch a bullet."
It's true. I bet
I
that
think
thing
his
already
hair's
has.
soft now.
I love it. So we're just gonna let's just go ahead and dive right in. I like a straight no chaser. Tyler, you cool with that?
Hey, I'm absolutely fine with that.
All right. So hey, please let's go ahead and start off. Tell the people where they can find you, rep your channel a little bit, what you do, and then we'll just jump right in.
Sure, if you want to show up to my door, you can go to 123 Go Fuck Yourself Street. No, I'm kidding.
Heyo.
You can find us over on
That's my
YouTube
address.
at Tundra Tactical. Yeah.
So weird.
Tundra Tactical. Soon to be a tundratactical.com as well, although there's some goofballishness happening in the creation of that website, but that's a whole nother story. And then over on Twitch, Tundra Gaming Live, you can find us there. I stream every day of the week, 6 p.m. Central, usually starting. Playing a ton of different games, and then Saturday night, excuse me, beer belch.
Nice.
We
Hell
do
yeah.
this is the best interview you've ever had, isn't it?
It is
I'm kidding.
Already.
That made it the best.
I am so shockingly full of myself that yeah, I'm kidding. I really am not. I just play an egotistical maniac on TV. Anyways, Tundra Gaming Live on Twitch, Tundra Tactical MN on Instagram, and of course Tundra Tactical, the main flagship station over on the Tubes of You. Check it out.
Brandon, his wedding vows were just, "You're welcome."
You're welcome. That's right.
I like
That's right.
this. I like this.
I made your ring
man.
out of spent
And,
brass.
I think I recently saw that you guys were up over 118,000 subscribers on
Yeah,
YouTube.
man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We're doing
dude.
That's
good.
awesome.
It's been a rough couple of months, honestly, on the YouTube side of things, but that's also because like life happens, right? And
Right.
I haven't been able to like dedicate as much time to the craziness that happens in this office. So
Be
yeah,
there.
I was gonna. It's gotta be a grind for you because at that level, man, I'm sure that's your daily job, right? You're just
this is
streaming
my
and
full-time
YouTubing.
job.
like-
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
I took
It's
the
kind of a
gamble.
dream, though.
I took the gamble way earlier than I should have, and I'm just lucky it paid off. I've got a great wife supporting me in that effort,
Congrats.
and very honestly, I have an outstanding team that volunteer their time for me, most of them, and they get shit done. So, and they're real good dudes.
That's awesome.
And
And that's
gals.
all stuff. That's all stuff that I want to get into. Like actual gals, or like when you said dudes and then forgot that there was some gals. Do you have some sleepers in there? Is that what's going
You
on?
never
or-
know. You never
Oh,
know.
okay. Oh,
Chris and I actually have a
He won't tell.
team of midgets like Willy Wonka that do all of
This is
our
true.
work for us.
I
Yeah.
keep them
Chris
under
is a
my
big fan
desk
of
right
midgets.
here. I am.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Who
Might as
else do you think turns the fans in my computer, Chris?
Yeah,
Come
there you
on.
go.
That's right.
They're just in
I
They're
there.
just in there.
I got
They
them
got
on a
little
crank.
songs and shit, right?
That's
Oh,
gonna come back to
Leo.
haunt me when I do a
Yeah.
political career. No, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna
We're
do that.
already. You might as well just climb
Yeah, we're
down here to the
fucked
swamp
anyway,
with us
yeah.
because we did a whole episode
Yeah.
on midgets like 3 episodes ago.
There
We
you go.
did so much midget content.
It's
It's
so
ridiculous.
Your
Anyway,
your number one spot.
For
Hey.
midget content, stay a little while.
Can we just
Little-
name? Can we name the podcast that?
Littlefans.com, dude. Just
Midget stuff, little fans. There it is. Yeah. Oh,
Oh man, we've had some good ideas with that parody name for the website. I was hanging out with Mike Pappas down at
Oh, nice.
what's the place called? GunCon last
Hey.
year, I think, or 2 years ago. and we tragically too late thought of only cans for him. And that is very much an already taken website. And then we had another
there's
one.
No way that wasn't scooped up.
Yeah.
That's great.
Anyways,
I'm sure that was one of those things that you came up with like at the bar after the event, and then somebody was just like, "Oh, only cans."
What? If I'm super honest with you, Chris, I felt a little, it's a new audience I'm talking to right now. I had to establish my credibility by name dropping somebody, and I chose Mike Pappas.
It's not a bad drop though.
It wasn't lost on me.
I feel like Mike is a great name drop because to the right people, like that's like the shit, right? Yeah. But he's not like. You're not like saying, "Oh, I got to hang out with, I don't know, Keanu Reeves or something like that, or John
Arnold."
Yeah,
somebody.
Arnold. Yeah, no, that's great. No, and we're gonna get into all that, man. I want to talk about your YouTube. Awesome. I want to talk about the stuff that you do, some of the experiences that you've had in the GunTube community. I'm interested. Awesome. We're interested in all that stuff. But step one, why don't you make like a really bad early 2000s Marvel movie and give us like your origin story, dude? Like go back because you're like a military guy, yeah.
Yeah. Here's a quick question. Here's a quick question for you guys. From a new guest perspective, I try to be at least a halfway decent guest. Do we have a time limit on this show? Because I like to go down rabbit holes.
Oh, we do not.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, we'll start from the beginning. I can tell you how it all began
with the forging of the great rings.
One day.
Yeah.
Should I just do the voice? All right, hold on.
He's got it.
And lo, back in the year of our Lord 2018, the nation of Tundra was born. No, okay. Here's the real story.
I was into it. Why'd you stop?
Dude, yeah. My panties got wet.
I was just reaching for the Lubriderm, dude.
That's all right. That's all right. That's hey. Ladies and gentlemen, you can find more over on Tundra Tactical on YouTube right there. Check it out on Twitch, too. It happens all the time there. Hey, okay, here's the story. I can tell you exactly how it went down. There were 3 people present, myself, my wife, then girlfriend, and my one of my best friends of all time, the godfather of my daughter, Jake, my buddy Jake, who sometimes goes by the name of Oleg. That's a whole nother story. If you want to explore characters in my audience that play other people and people who play other characters, it gets really weird. But anyways,
like a D&D thing.
We were kind of we were sitting downstairs. Jake is a bigger guy. He's kind of a bigger guy, and I didn't have I had just gotten out of the Air Force at the time. I didn't have the kit or any of that stuff. Jake was my guy for all of that. I was broke as a joke. I was working some dead-end security job. I didn't have money to throw at a plate carrier, a rifle, ammo, all that stuff. I had stupid cheap guns. I was where we all started, essentially.
Exactly.
And and so I was like, Jake, dude, you should let me see your belt. He had an HSGI battle belt with the really sticky the really sticky grip on the inside, 3 molly 3 molly tall.
Yeah, that weird like semi rubber.
Yeah.
That as soon as it gets dusty over in Syria, it just doesn't work at all.
Right.
Exactly. So I put that thing on. Like I said, Jake's a pretty hefty guy. It's significantly larger than myself, and it starts sagging off the back of my ass. And I go, what would be really funny is somebody did a review of this thing and called it the OG tactical operation, or the Compton Tactical Operations OG battle belt, and just riffed like a hood rat type review of it, and that's exactly what I did. He said, "Why don't you do it?" And that's exactly what I did for about 9 minutes. I just completely spitballed and riffed a fake review for a fake product. Jake hit the stop button and he said, "You're a lot better at this than you think you are." And I said, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, dude, you just talked for 9 minutes and you didn't stop. You were just making shit up on the fly." I was like, I guess, okay, cool. Should we do that again? He's like, yes, keep doing that. So he was originally my camera guy. And we started in Megan's parents' basement. All the jokes about starting, living in your mom's basement. I literally was doing that while the channel was being birthed. The original idea, however, though, kind of modified into something that we were seeing that was kind of lacking. I'm assuming you guys all look around my age. I'm 37. You guys sit somewhere around there?
Cool. 34.
So,
baby here.
Around the time that I started to think about getting into gun tubing, I don't think that sentence made sense, but around the time I started, getting into gun tubing, essentially, I noticed there were 3 videos out there, save for like a good old like Hickok 45 or at the time like FPS Russia. There wasn't really any entertainment value in GunTube. It was all raw information. You had 3 videos. You had the guy who propped his iPhone, up on the shooting bench, two lanes down, walked over there, picked up his gun, pling, 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 pling.
I'm pretty sure Hickok 45 is still doing that, but I mean, he's the Godfather.
But
so
I mean, it's that one.
Like, 10 million subs, like whatever.
Exactly.
You keep doing you, dude. Nobody's gonna talk to you at this
point.
But
this is the guy. This is the guy that literally just takes his eye. He doesn't say anything to the camera. Doesn't do nothing. He just takes his iPhone, sets it up, walks down 2 lanes, shoots, looks at the camera to make sure it's still on, loads a mag, shoots again, and then it's like, okay, like that was cool. I got to see the gun shoot. I know it functions. This is wonderful. But there was nothing in there for me. The other one was the old top down, camera down, hand table review stuff, the Vanna, the hand model stuff.
Yeah,
right. You'd see that all the time.
You were gonna say Vanna White.
I was gonna say she's kind of a hand model. Okay, I am 37 years old.
I'd like to buy a vowel.
Yep. Hey, I'll tell you what. Back in the early 90s, I watched a lot of that show, and it wasn't for the spelling. Anyways, out of respect. Anyways. Yeah, so where were we in the story?
You guys ever seen that Family Guy episode where Peter's like he's got like nothing on the board except like maybe an X, and they're just like, he goes, all right, so you can buy whatever, and he goes, nah, I'll take a Q, an X, another Q, a W.
Right. I remember
the Batman symbol.
Yeah, Batman symbol. Yeah.
Yep.
That's what you think of. Yeah, great.
Yeah,
classic.
Seth MacFarlane is a goddamn comic genius.
He really is. It's his politics.
One of the greats of our time. Well, I would actually love that. That would really actually be a fantastic. And I would like, if you decide to do this is an idea for you guys. I would love to do a podcast where we talk about separating somebody's politics from their art.
It's really
because there is
bring that
so much stuff that I love that I get shit for liking it because I'm not, I'm not towing the right line. That would be a podcast I would love to do.
I'm really glad that you brought that up because that's one of the things that like we're actually fighting about, and one of the things that our channel is about is just like bringing everybody back together again.
Sure.
Because one of the things that Brandon and I talk about
constantly, is that who's going to save the world? Like some mid-30s like dad dudes with beards.
Yes.
And sorry for you, Chris, but I'm sure you can grow one. I know. I'm sure. I know.
It's just
I think I've got hair other places.
Would you guys like to say hello to an extra special guest?
Absolutely.
100%.
All right, she's good on the microphone. Let's introduce you to my daughter, little Miss Ellie Bean.
Aww.
Hello.
Can you say what's up, dudes?
What's up, dude?
Aww.
What's up? Hello.
Ellie and we were out at the theme park today. Did you ride your rides today?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what was your favorite ride?
What's that?
That's our new friend Brandon, and that's our new friend Chris. This is Ellie. Say, hi, I'm Ellie.
Hi, I'm Ellie.
Oh,
nice to meet you,
Hi,
Ellie.
Ellie. It's nice to meet you.
Ellie, it's your bedtime, so can you get a smooch, please? Thanks, honey. All right.
Good night.
Hey, kiddo. Sorry, she comes in every time the camera's on. She loves being on the microphone, so we always say goodnight. That's important thing, family time.
I got 4 little
family
boys
first.
here.
Yep.
Yeah, so we get it, man. We're all family guys here.
Where did I leave off in the story? I did the Compton
politics.
Broke and living in your mother-in-law's basement.
There's actually so much more to this story I haven't told yet, but you are so much more right than you think you are. So we got the battle belt done. We kind of take over in the basement. We take over this pool table area, and we start thinking to ourselves, what's going to make a good video? So we notice, okay, there's the iPhone shooter guy, there's the hand model guy, and then there's nothing fancy, right? Then there's the guy who goes in to a 66-minute long in-depth ultra mega review that I don't give 2 shits about. I just wanted to see you shoot the fucking gun, man, and tell me, is it worth my money or is it not worth my money? Cut to the fucking chase and let's just go, right? So that doesn't happen.
He does the Ken Burns on the 38 special, and you're just like, whoa, man.
I'm expecting to see like a David Attenborough documentary on the piece.
Right. This is the Wild 38 special.
Yeah.
There she is.
It's not David Attenborough, but you know what?
Your David Attenborough sounds like Steve Irwin, dude.
Steve Attenborough. It's a blend.
I like it. That actually sounds like a great Tic Tac character. And yes, I intentionally said that. Okay,
great.
so we're in the basement, and we figure out, okay, we can do better than all these jokers. I kind of know how to shoot slightly. Like, I'm not a great shooter still. I'm not a great shooter. Actually, most of my audience would argue that I actually don't shoot. And every time you do see me on camera shooting, it's a generated AI construct. And it's not actually me.
This is why you brought down big guns, right? You brained big bombs on people. That was what you did
we had 30 Mike Burt and JDam. Yep. A lot of fun there. But so yeah, we figured out we could do better than everybody else. Of course, we're absolutely, crazy egotistical maniacs. And we said, you know what, with this $2,500, it was at like the time, it was probably like a $3,500 camera. I accidentally bought. That's a whole nother story too.
What? Oh no! And you fell. Your MasterCard slid into
typing in all 16 numbers of his credit card. It was an accident.
It's actually okay. I'll tell the story because it's kind of representative of the beginning of the channel. This was actually the event that spurred me into trying to do a YouTube channel. I was toying with the idea while I was working for Verizon Wireless, which was a fantastic job. I was making a metric ton of money. For a 20-something guy, I was making somewhere between like the realm of like $90,000 and $100,000 a year selling cell phones. It's such a sleeper job. Ladies and gentlemen out there, if you are looking for a job and you need a lot of cash and you're good at talking to people, don't even worry about selling them. They're already there to buy a phone. Just talk to people.
If somebody walks in,
you can make a lot of money selling cell phones. It's also kind of a shitty job though at the same time. But that's once again a whole nother story that we can get into a lot later on. Where did I go? Tangent. I lost my train of thought.
It's okay.
Camera.
Still in the basement. Making our way out.
So I go to buy this camera, right? And I specifically order a used Sony A7S because I hear it's the best for, low light performance. I'm like, there's no way I can afford $3,500 for the A7S II that's brand new, that just came out like 8 weeks prior to me trying to, do this. So I'll get the older model and I'll get it used. So I found one on Amazon for $1,600. I had him send me pictures of the sensor. Everything looked clean. Body looked good. Comes to me. I open up the box. I pull it out. And in front of me is an A7S II. And I said, what?
Wow.
I am now in possession of one of the industry standard cameras, like one of the best like prosumer level cameras that you can get your hands on at the time.
Damn.
Especially for just shooting video. And I felt terrible. Like, I'm from Minnesota, man. I have this curse where I have to own up to things that aren't even my fucking fault, right?
Well,
so I called the guy.
You also committed the Midwest sin of buying something for full price. Oh, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I
bought it used, man.
This is even a worse. This is even a worse sin.
I know.
So you bought something from somebody thinking that you were getting a deal and it was discounted. See, Brandon, you're a West Coastie. You can't understand this.
And then I called the guy.
From the West Coast.
I called the guy to apologize. It wasn't even my fault, man.
That's hilarious.
I felt obligated. Yeah. So he's like, dude,
you're like, hey, we got a problem here, bud.
First of all, lower your goddamn voice. That sounds way too much like me. So
you do realize I put this on just to get a rise out of you today, right?
Honestly, that's more my wife than anything.
Gotcha.
You can't really tell because of the way it's all set up, but the jerseys back there are all hockey. I'm a massive hockey freak.
Got you. Well,
I jersey back there.
Yeah, that's a signed Zach Parise jersey.
That's awesome.
You say that like I'm supposed to know what that means.
That is one of Minnesota's most famous hockey players.
Gotcha. I'll take your word for it. All right. But, I'm gonna get shit on so bad now for not knowing that by everybody.
Yeah, the internet will correct you. That's the one thing I've learned.
Oh, it is true.
I get this camera in my hands and I kind of take it as a sign. I was like, okay, I call the guy up. I apologize. He's like, you know what, dude? I'm way richer than you are. I don't give two shits. Keep the camera. He essentially just said, yeah, I'll eat the cost. Whatever. Keep it. I just got to get rid of it. It's probably like his ex-wives or something.
Damn.
Like he just doesn't fucking want it no more. I was like, I will happily take advantage of that situation. And so I did. I kind of saw it as a sign and said, fuck it. Let's give this a shot. Let's shoot our first video. How are we going to, we have this unbelievable camera. So now I just got to learn how to use it. Can't be that hard, right? And actually it turns out to be like basically proficient with cameras. It really does not take that much. It just takes money. Like you can buy your skill up to a point. with the camera. As long as you have a general understanding of like the basics of photography, framing, composition, all that type of stuff, you can be pretty good right out the gate with a camera. It's a little different, but
and nowadays with like Khan Economy or freaking YouTube, because that's what we're talking about, or just basically the internet in general.
Exactly.
I mean, you really can in a weekend get an associate's level degree education on just about any topic that you want to know about, and then the rest
can be. I would argue, just enough to be dangerous.
Right, and then the rest, I would argue, is just now you just got to build, you got to get the balls to just go out and do it. Yep. And then just like put yourself out there. Yeah.
What you just described is exactly what we did. We went dicks out all the fucking way, man. I brought all my friends over. Exactly. RIP. R.I.P. R.I.P. Pour one out for the homies. I'll pour one out right here.
Harambe.
That's right.
We have a guy in my Twitch chat that comes in quite often called Jarambe, effectively known as Harambe's cousin, and he leads the Harambe chant every time he comes in. Justice.
Oh man. Salute to that guy.
It's great.
Fuck yeah.
He's awesome. He's
Good
awesome.
for him.
Anyways, so I take it as the sign. We get it. Now I just got to figure out how to do it. We figure that out. I invite all of my friends, and I'm talking like every one of my friends that I'm willing to trust with thousands and thousands of dollars of equipment unsupervised. I invite over every single one of like that caliber of friends. Fortunately, I am blessed with a fair few of those. So big shout out to Bryce, big shout out to Alex, Jake, like all the guys, all the core group that really helped out in the beginning there. My buddy Matt, everybody who helped out. God, that beer is going through me. Holy smokes.
Dude, hell yeah.
You guys know who Codaboy 32 Tactical is by any chance on YouTube? KB 32 Tactical.
I have not gotten to that one yet, but
he's a niche. He's definitely an acquired taste. He's a ranger, former ranger. And he is. So he's just this massive dude from down south, just corn fed as a son of a gun. And he talks like this, just kind of, especially when he gets going. Oh, he's the best. Why did I start bringing up Codaboy? I have a horrible ADD, if you can't tell.
We are having one of those conversations already. I love this so much.
I can't remember. You were saying something, and that's what spurred me into. Oh, I remember. I had the belch, right? I was like, man, I belched twice on their on their podcast now. Codaboy 32 Tactical once live on my stream took a fucking piss. Just straight up unzipped and started.
Was he drunk?
He was hammered. I mean, we were hammered.
That is
like, granted.
That is typical Ranger. Like just typical Ranger.
Just dirt.
I once
I love my Rangers.
Oh man, I'm gonna get shit on for this, but I'm just gonna tell this story.
I can't make fun of Rangers. I'm Air Force.
No, listen, and I will never make fun of Rangers. I love the Rangers so much, but
they just like being in pain.
When I was going through SOCM, which is the medical course that like all special operations medics have to go through. The PJs used to go through it back in the day. They don't now. They branched off and did their own thing. But like Navy SEAL medics are coming back to it, and then Green Beret medics and Ranger medics and CA medics like all go through the same course. And then the direct action guys that go to support, the really really cool guys also come through the course, so they get Whiskey 1 qualified, right?
Okay.
But anyway, while I was there, it's basically like it's like a condensed PA program that takes like 9 months to complete, 9 intensive months. And it basically comes down to like 8 hours a day of just cramming books. And then we would hit the weekend, and most people would just spend the entire weekend drinking just because it's that stressful. And then you start again on Monday morning and you just go. So there was like a core group of dudes that I hung out with while I was going through, and it was like we would just go hard all week, and then every weekend would just be drunk IV parties, and it would just rotate people's houses that we were at, and one weekend it was my house. We devolved into a campfire afterwards. There's 2 Rangers, there's me, and there's another Green Beret dude, and this Ranger wanted to go out, and he goes, "Have you guys ever played I think he called it like hot hands or hot potato or something?"
Sure,
and I'm like,
sure.
we can't be talking about the same game. He goes, no. The campfire was dying down. He goes, "Okay, so here's the thing. I'm going to grab a coal," and he goes, "I'm going to grab it out of the fire, and we just have to keep it going the whole time." And he's like, the first person that drops it or gets burned by it and like stops playing, like,
this sounds awful.
You're a bitch. You're a bitch, and like you got to leave, and then the last guy going wins.
Can I just nominate myself as a bitch
right now?
So at this point, we're all just drunk enough to play the game. So we're like, all right, dude. We're playing, of course, right?
By
so we're
the way,
playing.
I hate to interrupt, but to all the listeners right now who are saying, "Oh, I could do that." Shut the fuck up. There's like 5 of you out there. There's like 5 of you out there that could do that. So, everyone else is secretly saying, yes, I would also be a bitch.
This guy reaches into, like, he doesn't pull like a coal out of the side of the fire. He plunges his hand in and plucks this white hot coal, like from the edges of the flames on the bottom of the fire pit bowl, and just brings it up. And like this is the point where he like reached up and he put it up like a volleyball serve. And I was like, oh, I just got hustled. And he goes, ha, and he just like points it like right at my face. And I just, and this like smoking coal is going towards my face. And I'm like, and I like served it back to somebody else. And like, as soon as it hit your hand, it was like, and I was like, you know? And so now we're in the game. And we're playing this.
You quite literally have skin in the game.
Yeah, right. And
so long story short, like the coal lands and like somebody's like, this is stupid. And you're like, you're the first bitch, you're out. And then like we keep going. And I looked over and just jokingly, I told my buddy, I was like, man, I love Rangers so much. You guys are like the Marine Corps of Army Special Operations. Skirt! And the game just came to a crashing halt. And the next thing you know, what did you? And like all of a sudden we went from like laughy, happy drunk to like, I'm gonna effing kill you, take it back. And it was just like, whoa, man. Like just 180 degrees.
Sorry,
like,
Marine Corps.
Yeah, also, they're the ones getting dunked on the most right now. And I was like, dude, it was a compliment. I like the Marine Corps too. And he was like, you take it back. And
fuck you.
Like all of a sudden, like people were like separating us. And I was like, so little bit like the epilogue to the story is he storms off from my house and he's going to walk home. Well, his barracks was like 5 miles from my house. Oof. So I let him leave for like 30 minutes. And then I was like, we should probably go find so-and-so. And they were like, yeah. So we didn't get in the car, guys. We all like,
of course,
walked around like shortest way to the barracks. And we found him laying down somewhere. Like he had sat down. Like you could tell he had sat down at some point, and then just he was starting to do the fade, and we were like, come on
had
back.
The coal in his pocket.
Yeah. That's better than an alarm.
It was a great night though, and we like that's just one of like hundreds, you know. But anyway, sorry, back over to you.
No, the solid memories, man. The solid memories. I was talking for like 25 minutes straight. I was going to say, Brandon, do you want to say something? I apologize, dude.
Oh no,
I had just been talking for the entire show.
No, man, that's why we brought you here. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, don't you guys have Air Force things to talk about?
I'm sure we could.
Maybe we could, yeah.
You know, honestly, one of my other great buddies over on Twitch, Sergeant Heine, Air Force Security Forces guy as
Shout
well.
Out.
So yeah, check him out. He's actually kind of a big deal. He skyrocketed into success very quickly, and now has like hundreds and hundreds of people watching his streams daily, which is awesome. Good for you, Heine. We love you, and I'm not totally jealous at all.
Nice.
Go fuck yourself.
Also save some for somebody else, right?
Right.
Exactly. No, Heine is about as good a people as they come. Awesome. And he was just on Unsubscribed, actually, I think, not too long ago, and telling some pretty gnarly stories. I don't want to steal any of his thunder, and I know he's relatively adverse to the story I'm thinking of telling it online. But I do believe if you want to hear the story about some really wild and crazy shit that he saw one day, check out the Unsubscribed podcast where he's on, and I think they'll tell you. But yeah, back to the start of the channel. Long story short, we actually kind of like cracked the code. We figured it out, and we said, you know what we're gonna fucking do? Top Gear was a really big thing at the time for all of us.
Top Gear.
We're gonna start doing Top Gear shit.
Oh no! Anyway,
right? and so we had the whole show planned out, and we filmed about an eighth of one episode, and just said, hardcore, fuck that. That's way too much work.
So you guys were like gonna do the panel and everything, like the 3 dudes around like the table, kind of thing. And
that was a little bit. I was supposed to be a Clarkson-esque personality.
Gotcha.
And the other 2 guys it wasn't gonna be quite like that, but it was gonna be like kind of them coming in and out of certain bits.
Sure.
One of my guys, super not camera friendly. He doesn't like being on camera, but he's a genius when it comes to suppressors and rifle building, and all the kind of stuff that I wasn't super spun up on at the time. Still really am not. He's still my guy for all that stuff. And so he'd kind of fill in as needed. That was the bit. We said, nope, that's way too hard. We were filming it in the back of an aircraft like fabrication, like panel fabrication plant that one of the guys' dads owned. They said, hardcore, fuck that. No, that's out. New plan. We're just going to use your voice, Tyler's voice, and we're going to shoot a bunch of really sexy B-roll, and you're just going to talk about guns, and it's going to be like this sweet, smooth experience where I talk like this about an HK fucking, you know, I don't know, HK-45, which is a horrible example to choose for this particular choice. But I think the very first video we did like that was on one of the guns I have behind me that you cannot see. It's a Savage 10T. It was my first like long range bolt gun that my girlfriend got me, wife now, girlfriend at the time. She didn't buy it for me, obviously, because that would be a straw purchase. But she did give me a gift card that was for the exact amount of that gun, and I went and got it. So,
screw you, Minnesota.
Yeah. Well, that's everywhere. You can't straw purchase anywhere. But true. Yes, Minnesota has some pretty dumb. We've got a great one called the melt test law, where if a gun melts at 1,000 degrees Celsius, you can't transfer it here. You can own it just fine. You just can't transfer it to anybody, or you can't purchase a gun new. Or if it has a certain percentage of powdered metal in it. We have a whole list of guns that you cannot transfer in Minnesota, like the Heritage Rough Rider, the High Point C45,
like
C9.
If you pass away and you own those weapons, like
then they're just gone.
The state owns them.
Mm-hmm. Got you.
Pretty much.
Well, I understand.
They disappear.
I understand. Yeah, I understand how you would take care of it, you know. But
so yeah, I mean, up
by law,
until
I guess what you're saying is you're supposed to turn them in upon your death, right? Like,
well, up until relatively, I honestly, I'll be very honest with you. I don't know because up until very recently, private party transactions were totally cool and didn't require anything. Now they do, unfortunately. And so up until that point, I know a lot of friends that as their parents were passing would just gift their collection of firearms to their kid. Now that's not considered a legal transfer. So it doesn't have a 4473 associated with it. So then you're totally covered. That was totally fine. But yeah, that's not the case anymore. So
I mean, that's how we do it in Wisconsin, you know. But I mean, it's perfectly legal over there still to this point. You know?
I'd much rather live over the border over there with you guys right now. You got a bunch of fat German women, but you got a lot better laws than we do.
What's wrong with the fat German women, though? I know, right? Yeah, like why are you hating all this?
Alles good.
Okay, but see, I live in a state with Swedish women.
Good, yeah. Oh, so, I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah, like I mean, the Swedes take the cake every time. I'm sorry.
It's a valid point.
I'm sorry. Just Google German women and then Google Swedish women. I guarantee
it's not even close.
Okay, but we got to make this. We got to make this fair. You got to Google.
Oh yeah.
You got to Google like pretty German women and pretty Swedish women, and then compare apples to apples. You can't
actually no.
You can't just let the AI run wild with that.
I don't think so, man. I don't think so. It's based on perception. Hey, since we're talking of horrible tangents and like those countries and all that stuff, you guys want to hear a dad joke?
Yes.
All right. Why do all of Norway's boats have barcodes on them?
Oh, I know this.
You know this one. All right.
I do.
Thanks for holding on.
I'm going to keep it myself.
All right, Chris, why do all of Norway's boats have barcodes on them? Or naval boats have...
I don't know, Dad.
All right, here you go. You ready? You get it like a drum thing effect. Hey!
Yeah, we just do it.
So when they get back into port, they can Scandinavian.
That's right.
Hey-o!
I knew it.
I won't do it. Nope.
You're not going to laugh?
Stop.
You're totally
tragic.
All right, I am going to
tell him the starting story of the channel.
I am going to tell
He's
my
like,
kid
despite that joke, I still want to keep doing this podcast.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, please.
That's my litmus test. Is if you guys don't kick me off after that joke, then I know I'm among my people.
You're among friends here. So anyway, you stole a camera from a poor old man, and then you
literally kicked him in the chest.
This is mine now.
Spartan kicked.
So yeah, we finally get everything together and we do our very first video, and the video ends up turning out like relatively well. If I showed you that video and I said this was my first ever YouTube video, you'd like I'd be like, I wouldn't believe you at all. Like that's way too good for it to be your first one. Subsequently, the quality declined because we put all of our effort into that one video. But we realized very, very quickly that we were better at being dumb than we were at being smart. So we kept the idea of keeping the nice camera, having some form of artistic thought put behind some of the shots and some of the films that we do, but just being absolute shitheads on the internet. And it turns out that was, at the time, a hit. It took a couple of years to really get some traction, but as we progressed on, we came across another shout out name here to our very first writer, our buddy Eric, who turned out to be this unbelievable comic genius. He was an 80-second guy that came out. Oh yeah, they're funny.
It's all the shame and guilt that they carry with them. They either get funny or I can't make that joke. I was gonna say or they kill themselves, but
well, no, we're okay. It's not like we're like none of us are ever gonna run for office. We're all vets here, so the whole veteran suicide thing. You said you're among friends. It doesn't make me mad. Any veteran listening right now, like if we can laugh about that, we all understand it's a fucking problem. We're not making light of it, but
correct.
You know, we all understand it's a fucking problem. But that's what vets do. We laugh at dark humor. That's what we do.
Some of my best friends in the military were all in the 82nd. I spent 6 years at Fort Bragg. So those dudes, again, those dudes are either funny. Because here's the thing about being in the 82nd. You can only run the 5 miles of Ardennes so many times before you're like, first of all, you get there and upon reception into the 82nd, you realize I've made a huge mistake and I now hate my life. They do that part for you. You hate your life. So they also go, oh, all of that motivation and will to live, that is mine now. Now here is your hate for all of humanity. And you're also, here's your hate for yourself that goes right on top of that.
See those bad guys over there? They were talking shit about you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. They're the reason that you had to eat, golden Marines this morning.
Oh, exactly. Oh, fuck
those
that.
Guys.
Yep. So what I was gonna say is what's hilarious. Every one of my army buddies, they're all 82nd dudes. They're all 82nd guys. I've got two that are on my show consistently. One that makes triggers for me. This guy, it's all over the place. So shout out to my 82nd guys. But anywho, we start up, we realize that we're dumb. Way better at being dumb than we are at being smart, which turns out to be the case. It's a hit. And big shout out to our buddy John Patton over at the Gun Collective. He featured us very early on as Gun Tuber of the Week on his channel. And nice. I went to bed that night with 200 subscribers. You did? No shit, huh? Yeah. That's awesome, man. I went to bed that night.
Actually, I can say this, honestly say this. That's how I found you.
No shit, really? Yep. You're going to love this story, dude, because that was one of the most influential moments of my life. Honestly, of my entire life. I woke up with 200, or I went to bed with 200 subscribers. I woke up with 2,000. And they all said the Gun Collective sent me here. And at the time, well, not at the time, John is still a big influence on how we do, the piece to camera stuff. There's nobody better at it than him. He's the GOAT, pretty much, when he's doing studio work and piece to camera stuff. I modeled everything that I do. A lot of my personality, a lot of my delivery, I modeled after John.
Your beard, your haircut.
Yep. Pretty much, man. Pretty much. And for a good long while, we were working well hand in hand. He got big, big in terms of the YouTube channel and success and all that stuff. And we were just this little itty bitty baby channel he helped bring up into some semblance of legitimacy. And that's when I after I got done whipping my head around my shoulders, screaming around, running naked through the basement, saying, "We fucking get it!" My wife can corroborate all of this, by the way.
That's awesome.
And I finally stopped. I realized holy shit, we're kind of on the map now. And that's when the bug bit me. And I said, fuck it. We ball. Let's go.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So you burnt the boats. You went all in. I do have to know. So that actually makes a lot of sense. I want to make a point moving forward, but now that you said that, your relationship to the Gun Collective, I can see it now where I didn't see it before. Because there's some dudes that I watch. The Plaid Daddy, obviously everybody does, right? I watch TGL, TFB TV. I'm kind of big into the Warrior Poet. We're big John Lovell fans.
Hi John, I love you, John. You're still tiny.
We're big John Lovell fans. Meeting John Lovell is one of my goals. I'd really like.
He's a wonderful human being.
That's what I've heard,
I've got to meet him and Evan a couple of times now.
Okay.
And I don't really think either one of them would remember me. I'm trying to sound way cooler than I am by saying hi to John. I don't think he knows who I am, but I have met him a couple of times. He's a fun guy.
Well, he doesn't know who we are either, so that's okay.
Yeah, definitely not. But now that because everybody kind of gets their niche, right? And that's like a thing that we've heard, like kind of, you know, coming into this, and we're still on that arc, really, like trying to figure out like what the voice is, what the niche is, and like really fitting in. But now that you said that, I can totally see the relationship where it's like the Gun Collective is kind of like Fox News. And then all of a sudden Fox News ends, and like the late night comedy
Fox
special
News
comes
or
on,
something. Yeah,
and then
right.
and then it's like now it's like late night with Tundra Tactical,
Schlocks.
like kind of follows
Schlocks
it, like,
News. That's what they call us.
I see it now, though. But that's really funny. So that's really cool.
Where John actually tries to better the community and be like a no joke like force in the industry.
Yeah.
We're just here to make all of the rest of those guys look bad by being a fucking idiot. There's a gigantic spider on my wall. I must murder it. Stand by.
Go get the.
There's dead.
I was really hoping you were going to pull out one of your rifles. And
Me
shoot
too,
it.
man.
That'd be great,
right?
right?
Expecting that.
I have visibly been drinking on camera, so I won't be touching firearms for legal reasons while on stream, so I can't ever be accused or ever be accused of doing that in the future. You never know what the future may hold. And all of this shit gets recorded in perpetuity. I don't want it to show up in a courtroom someday.
You cannot take back a round fired on the internet. But so like kind of in my house, like I tell my kids, I'm like Sunday Gun Day. I let them watch their like retarded cartoons like all week, whatever they're doing. But I'm like, on Sunday, I take my 65-inch TV back and I sling my phone up there and I start watching all my GunTube videos that I save up all week. And so it's like you show up, and I'm not saying that just to like like beat you off on camera, but you do, like you show up and then,
like I will accept.
I mean, it's that way. It's that way.
Yeah.
But
ICANN podcast.
This is the advantage of standing up while streaming, is you can do a lot of really funny shit.
You can't see what's going on below.
I don't have the knees anymore to do the. I can't do it.
That was close.
I can get to about there, but
try a lunge.
I did.
No,
you're on an escalator.
I genuinely can't.
I heard the snapping and popping though through my. I heard it.
Not service connected, by the way.
Anyways, so Sunday GunTube Day, right? Like that's what we do in my house. And as I'm like kind of watching through, I choose like my different. I'm kind of a nerd about this, but like I start with the like TFB TV and like TGL. Like I start with those dudes to be like, hey, what's new? Like what am I missing? Like what's the new stuff kind of coming out?
Yeah, what you're doing is you're watching good GunTube.
Well, okay, and then I find out like what's good. Like I get my baseline of information for the week, like kind of the new information, like the new whatever, and then I use that because there was a thing that started happening, and maybe you can like comment on this a little bit, where it's like you can totally tell. Oh, Honest Outlaw, that's my other boy that I totally forgot.
He's right down south of us in Iowa.
Yeah, down in Iowa, dude. Chris, shout out to him because
hi, Chris. I don't know you at all. I don't know why I'm doing this.
I wish. But I usually start with that because you can really tell when there's like a concerted effort and like all the NDAs run out, and then it's like everybody drops like a gun on one day, and it's like I think the last one that I saw, it's just like we're talking about the Springfield Echelon now.
Yep.
Everybody did.
We were part of that crew too.
Yeah,
I feel so much shame because of that, but I needed money.
I'm not.
I was broke.
Don't we all?
I wasn't using that to shit on you by any means. I'm just saying like I could start to tell when that's what was going on. And I'm like, there's like a huge push right now. So that's why I usually now I start with like, okay, here's the new stuff. And then I'm like kind of braced for then when I see that, it's kind of like curated my YouTube channels a little bit to where I go, okay, hey, if I am going to hear about a new weapon or a new optic, it's like these are kind of like my 4 or 5 trusted sources that like I trust them to be like legitimate, like Mr. Guns and Gear,
very good,
Honest
Great
Outlaw, freaking Sage Dynamics. It's like I think those guys are going to give me like shoot me straight, pun intended. Where it's like you see, there's a lot of them where it's just like, oh, this is the greatest gun ever, next Glock killer, blah blah blah, and you're like, oh my god, dude. Okay.
There's plenty of those out there. I've had the luxury and pleasure now of meeting a vast majority of what I think a lot of us would refer to as the big YouTubers in the group. And the nice thing is, most of them are like you called it originally, is just that like the good like homies that'll tell you how they feel about it. And the great thing about when Garantham does that review or when, you know, when Brandon decides to be serious occasionally and does a legitimate review.
Brandon Herrera. Hey, by the way, we are a huge supporters of him running for Congress. Go vote for Brandon Herrera. Texas.
Unfortunately, that no longer applies. Yeah.
Oh, did he?
He lost by like less than 1% in the runoff.
Yeah, it was crazy. At one point, it was like 429 votes that he lost.
Yeah, 429 votes
in real time. Dad,
literally. I mean, you're not like embarrassingly late though. It happened 12 hours ago.
Yeah, no.
Dang it. Okay, no, I wasn't tracking.
Put some stupid post out on Twitter and called him a bunch of shit. It's pretty.
Oh, Brandon, we did what we could for you, brother.
We tried, buddy. We tried. And you had a great run. You had a fucking awesome. I know his editor is one of my best friends. And I was talking to him a little earlier today. Hopes are the heads are being held high in the Herrera camp right now, from what I'm being told.
If nothing else, we just flexed like a YouTube. Well, I say we. I mean, we did what we could.
And think about it this way.
But we flexed like a YouTube muscle and just gave like a real Republican a run for his money in a primary to be like less than 1%.
That's it.
Now you got to start. Now you got to start.
Think of how much money Tony had to spend to fight Brandon that Brandon didn't have to spend.
Exactly.
Think of if Brandon had that funding, he would have wiped the floor with him.
We have the homie
like
network.
Yeah, exactly. So that is
we can be retarded longer than you can be rich.
Exactly. Let's go.
Dude, put that on a fucking t-shirt, dude.
That is.
We can be retarded longer than you can be rich.
Rich is temporary. Retarded is forever.
I'm going to be officially asking your permission for that idea. I've got my 3D printer in the other room where I print patches.
Hey,
and I'm gonna print that up on a patch. I'll send it to you guys.
Please do it. The only thing that I would ask you is tag us in this episode, man. That's the only thing that I would ask.
That's fucking amazing.
You can have that one.
Right?
That's great.
We're full of them. The mine runs deep. We're digging too greedily over here.
We're still on the start of my channel. We're never gonna get through this. This is gonna go for like 18 hours.
When women sync up, retards sync up too. It's actually science. Yeah,
there you go. Exactly.
I did.
At least we don't have to wear anything.
Earlier today, I was wondering what
you
that was
did
about.
Too.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my god.
I wake up like that, you know.
I mean, so did I. Ready to go. Got to point north somehow.
Still,
anyways,
right? Until we hit 40, then apparently we won't. I don't know.
No, anyways. John Patton was the last place I think that we were at.
We did.
Fast forward a long time, and the infamous video dropped, our first really big success, and that was What Your Pistol Caliber Says About You. I do believe that was an Eric idea. I think I've taken credit for it over the years multiple times. But I have recently decided to not completely sober up, but significantly cut back on my alcohol intake. And I'm starting to remember things that I once forgot, which is not uncommon, I hear. So yeah, I'm fairly certain that was an original writer idea from our boy Eric. Which turned obviously into a series that we became pretty much known for on the internet. You could argue that it's that and Roast My Rifle. But yeah,
Roast My Rifle.
That kicked off, and I can't remember. That video was a strange one because we did it and nothing happened. It sat there for like 3-4 weeks, just performing like a normal small YouTube channel. And then like I thought my internet, I was calling Comcast, wondering why my YouTube views were going up. What the fuck is happening? I don't get this many views on my YouTube. I was like, yeah, did I get upgraded? Like, is this somehow affected to my internet? I couldn't comprehend that I was having success. I couldn't comprehend it. It was wild.
Sir, we don't know. You get
exactly.
Right, just the call center.
Thank you. Come again. Taiwan. Long story short, it was not Comcast. It was you guys on the internet, the fans of, I'm assuming that, the kind of collective degens that listen to myself, you guys, and the rest of us gun tubers out there.
Yeah, the retards.
Exactly. But yeah, that was kind of it. From there, I started taking it seriously. That very close to that video releasing is when I took the leap and went full time into YouTube. I meant to offer a correction earlier, but it sounded way cooler if I just quit at like 2,000 subscribers, fucking balled out, and somehow made it.
Right.
No, we at the time I jumped ship from Cabela's. I was working at Cabela's at the time as the firearms operations officer. which sounds way cooler than it is. I just work the bound
not the
book.
financial ordering officer.
I wish. I'd probably be getting paid a lot more money. But no, I did all the bound book for Cabela's. It was one of the worst jobs I've ever had. Great people to work with. Terrible job doing bound book for when you get 90 guns in a day, every day.
Ooh,
doing bound book for that sucks shit through a fucking straw.
In Minnesota.
And now I'm sure that there is somebody out there who knows the job of which I speak, and they're like, "You fucking pussy." It's like, okay, I'm sure your job's hard.
There's always that guy who's just like,
Yep.
knew he wouldn't make it.
Yeah, exactly.
He's bitching about this job. He said he wouldn't grab that hot coal. He's a fucking pussy.
Yeah.
And that kind of brings us up to present. The one other big series that dropped was
slaps the Ranger tab on the back of his F-150. Drives home from work.
Got his ribbon rack there too, you know.
Oh, can we not? That's too cringe, man. I saw one of those. Yeah, I was just
the National Defense Service ribbon. That's it.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah, 100%.
His
Fucking
E2.
E2.
His wife's back window says, "My husband is a insert rank."
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Hardest job in the
God.
Army.
Best job I ever had.
Dependa, please.
Right. Triceratops.
Yep. Oh, I remember Triceratops. I haven't heard that one in a long time. Dependa just took over, but Triceratops is a good one.
The Dependopotamus, the Triceratosaurus Rex. Yeah, there's a
that kind of brings us up to present, where we somehow broke 100,000 subscribers. I realized there's a bit of a career in this. Started up the Twitch channel as kind of a companion bit. You know, some people start the second YouTube channel. We decided to go for. I am like, I get horrible anxiety over money. Like just terrible, like much worse than the average person does. It is like crippling anxiety over money if I have to worry about it. Like if I don't have to worry about it, I don't think about it. But the moment I'm like, oh shit, I spent way too much money on this vacation or something like that, it becomes like life controlling for me. So I spend a lot of time playing video games, 4, 5, 6 hours a day. When I wasn't, being a dad, it was significantly more than that. When I wasn't married, it was significantly more than that. And I was like, fuck it, dude, I should just monetize this. Like, I know I've got the personality. I've got a built-in audience. I hit affiliate the third day I started streaming so I could monetize the channel due to the transitional audience. Thank you guys, by the way. And now we have a clear presence over there, working on some good success. I think we're passing 6,000 followers, which is pretty decent. And we're actually planning on 2 more YouTube channels coming down the pipe here. If you guys want to talk about that.
Yeah, we'd love to know.
Yeah, let's talk about what's next for the Tundra Nation, dude.
You guys get the exclusive because I've only ever told this once.
I do have to say, Tundra Nation, it's kind of hard to follow you guys because every time I search for you, then all of a sudden my YouTube feed fills up with Toyota Tundras, which
one day
I'm actually looking at buying one now. But
one fucking day, dude. I know. I'm gonna say, how many trucks have I sold you, motherfuckers? Give me one.
We'll tag Toyota.
I'm gonna get one, dude. I'm gonna get one. I told myself that's gonna be my gift at 250K. I'm gonna grow big enough balls where I'm gonna call up Toyota and say, I bet you motherfuckers I've sold trucks for you. Send me one, I'll sell you more.
Well, by the time that time comes along, dude, with all the radiation you've absorbed in the Air Force, your balls just might be that big anyway.
They might. So. I might have a third one. You never know.
You never know, dude.
They might be hanging off my chin under my beard. You never know.
That's what's there.
Whoop. Yeah, right. That's. I don't have a fist. Don't punch me in the beard. It hurts.
Balchinians.
Yes, exactly. That's right. Holy shit! I forgot all about that. So you guys will get kind of the exclusive here. I teased it a little bit today first. I teased it a little bit today on my YouTube channel by doing a live stream from the location. But there's 2 new channels coming down the pipe for the Tundra Nation. They'll be under the Tundra umbrella, but they won't necessarily be a Tundra name brand thing. It could be something different. We've come up with a working title for the second channel. The first one is going to be related to military vehicles, specifically aviation, which is where my secondary passion lives. Is military aviation. I am a sucker for it. I can tell you the exact moment I fell in love with airplanes. I was in 3rd grade. It was my first day of school at my brand new school from which I moved from Iowa to the state of Minnesota. I got stuck in the library because my mom was a hairdresser and couldn't come to pick me up, and I didn't have a bus assignment yet. So I got stuck in the library. I was walking around bored as hell, saw a book on warbirds, never turned back. It immediately at that moment in my life, I said, I am joining the Air Force, and I did. So
platform.
What's my favorite?
That's like he's gonna say for what, and you know why I know he's gonna say for what?
Because I was Tech B.
Because when I was 12, my parents bought me this like encyclopedia, but
I see where you're going. The James Encyclopedia.
Back in the day, kids, they used to get these. They would be encyclopedias, but they would come in a box, and they would have cards that you would go through.
I do know. Yeah.
And so
I thought you were going to talk about the Janes books from back in the day.
My parents got me one of those, and I would just sit in my room when I was 12, and I would just start flipping through. I would memorize
it. I was the
and
same
I
way.
would memorize them, and I was going to be Maverick one day. That is what I wanted to do.
I couldn't tell you.
100% going to go fly F-16s or F-18s. That's what I wanted to do. And then I went to go join the military, and my eyesight wasn't very good. And they said, the Air Force said, go get screwed. And then I couldn't make it into the Air Force Academy.
Well, you do have kind of a cool guy job now.
I'm happy with where God led me. I'm just saying you and I have that in common, because back in the day, dude, I was going to be like, dude, I probably watched Top Gun 500 times in my life or more. Like, I can quote that whole damn movie. Like the whole damn movie, dude, from start to finish. I love everything about it.
Did you like in high school, were you lifting hard enough to get the pecs so you could do the beach volleyball scene?
Right.
I didn't even bother.
You just naturally.
I just went outside and I was just playing volleyball by myself. Shirtless.
Wow, you were playing volleyball.
Like, no.
Volleyball,
awesome. Yeah.
Volleyball.
Awesome.
I was playing the volleyball. It's the volleyball.
I never thought of it that way. That's kind of funny.
I like that.
All right. Yeah. So military aviation or military vehicle channel with it's not going to be like Tundra Tactical, though. It's not where I'm going to be roasting everything where, I guess I never I'm so terrible at these fucking interviews. I'll tell you this later, but there is like a greater purpose. There's a greater purpose for the idea of Tundra Tactical. There's a very specific reason why we do what we do. Remind me to talk about that. It'll all start to make sense. So it's not going to be like Tundra where we roast everything. It'll be a lot more edutainment. What is the name of the guy? I'm sure you guys all watch this guy at some point in time. Kyle Hill. You ever heard of Kyle Hill before? The nuclear scientist guy. Thor, but for nukes. He's got the beautiful blonde hair. He's super entertaining. Look up Kyle Hill. Endless hours of entertainment.
Okay.
More shout outs.
Endless hours of entertainment. If you like nuclear science.
Brandon, that's what we're gonna have to call this episode. It's just gonna be shout outs with Tyler from Tundra Tactical.
Yeah. I'm a generous guy. No, I'm serious. I feel every time I get the opportunity, this is not a horrible thing. I hope this is a relatively good personality trait that I have. So many people have given me a shout out. So many people didn't need to do that. They never needed to do that. I've gotten shout outs without my knowledge. I've never asked for any of this, but people did it. So I feel like this is my way of giving
so much, man. It's free.
I feel like this is my way of giving back to all of the people who helped me get to where I'm at. The inspirations, the people who physically lifted kit and ran cameras for me. Sure. Yeah. They're fucking getting a shout out because they worked their asses off to get me here. And the other people that, do the internet shit, they deserve that shout out too. So hell yeah.
Who kept you going, when it was like 105 degrees outside or 115, you're in TC and like life just sucks. And then you're trying not to pass out laid up next to a Humvee in the sun, in the desert. You've been out there for 14 hours, 3 weeks. Ask me how I know. This is like an actual experience that I've had. Like the guy that keeps you going.
Your trauma.
Yeah. The guy that keeps you going is the dude that you're trauma bonded next to. That's just and he just makes you laugh, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that's like what your channel does, especially in a day and an age where people are kind of black pilled these days. Let's just be honest.
Sure.
And then they come across your stuff, especially people in the the 2A community kind of has overlap with the homesteaders and the conservatives and the red crowd people, not the red, not commies. Red is in Republican.
Commies. Fuck those guys.
Fuck
those guys.
Commies go in the wood chipper after the pet. But anyway,
first.
Let it rain.
But
just Slayer starts playing.
Those are the people that make you laugh, are the ones that keep you going. And I think that's kind of where your channel fits into the niche of things, right? Dude. It's like you come along and you're making people laugh, man, and it's great. And we're super happy to have you here tonight.
That was the goal
the entire time you've been here.
Thank you.
But anyway, so you had military Yeah, military
Is this
vehicles.
gonna be like a Alex Halling style thing, like air power, or is this gonna be like something?
It could be. I haven't decided exactly how I want to go, and because for me, I think this time around it'll be different. It's not going to be like starting Tundra from scratch because as much as I say it in every video, you know, join us next time when we still don't know what the fuck we're doing. Like I kind of know what the fuck I'm doing a little bit now, and so I don't feel as dependent on inspiration like I did with John Patton and all of these other guys that helped me kind of craft the persona that became Tundra Tactical. Not necessarily Tyler. I am kind of like this most of the time in real life, but I am kind of also playing a bit most of the time too. Sure. So yeah, it's just sometimes I forget to turn it off too, which is really weird because I'll like, go to a family gathering and I'll be like, "So hey there, how's it going, everybody?" And they're like, "Dude, can you fucking calm down?"
It's your YouTube wife
right now.
Yeah.
Right.
It's your wife's sister. She's like, "Tyler,
shut the fuck up, please."
We've known each other for 15 years.
Yeah.
We know you can't hear, but stop being loud.
Yeah.
So now that I have a bit of my own personality, I think just what I'm going to do is I'm going to take what I do on Tundra, dial it back about 50%, bring a little bit more information, and you know do about 60-40 split of information and edutainment, I guess, in favor of the education side of things.
Are you worried about the like the Luke Skywalker effect?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah,
like,
I seriously don't. What is that?
Like Mark Hamill, right?
Getting
like
typecast and like once you're in,
once he stopped being Luke Skywalker, then people, you know, didn't.
The beautiful thing about the
then...
internet, like, okay, this is gonna sound so unbelievably arrogant, but I know that I have a relatively decent voice. I'm not gonna say it's like the best in the world, but I have put money and work into this voice.
It's like a good 40 weight, dude. Like,
there you go.
You can lube an engine with that thing.
Where I'm going with this incredible, you know, public compliment to myself is I can just turn the fucking camera off and put B-roll on. Nobody ever needs to see my face.
That's a good point.
Yep.
You got it figured out.
The other side, that like the murder side of that is I have a recognizable voice. So if you recognize it, then it could also take you out of the moment. So we'll see how it goes. I'm not terribly concerned.
That's really good.
Though, man, Mark Hamill was the voice for Joker that we all grew up with. A lot of people didn't even realize that. Why do you think
he became a fucking voice?
Yeah, voice actor. That's also a really good point. I forgot.
Yeah. So, like, sure, one trick pony with Luke Skywalker until you realize that he's the Joker we all grew up with.
You realize? Look at his credit list. He has done a lot of shit that you didn't know he did.
Yeah,
right.
I only learned that since I was an adult too. You know, I didn't even realize that was going on. Yeah.
Well, that's because when you're playing 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon in the motor pool on Monday morning,
yeah,
that's where I learned most of this stuff.
Woo!
Dude, we all think they're pointless conversations, but that's the way you fucking learn everything.
Dude,
especially if you're some fucking idiot from Iowa or
killed Motor Pool Monday. Dude used to sit around for hours throwing rocks at a hat on the ground. And then just talking about stupid stuff like marry one, screw one, kill one, or 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. And you would come away from there like your entire paradigm of the world would be changed.
You were describing the life of it.
Yes, it would, man. That was the good old days back when we only had flip phones.
Listen, man, you're describing the life of a nuke cop to a T, man. You can't even have your phone. So you have to fucking figure out how to like live like a caveman out in the missile field. So find the big rock to break the other rocks. And that's what we're going to do for fucking 18 hours today. That's it.
Yep. I never even thought of that. Yeah, you definitely can't have your phone out there.
Until the aliens show up and then you're like,
I've been probed once or twice, man. Yeah.
It happens, man. Did they at least give you the spreader, or did they go?
Just no lube.
He liked it.
Bite the pillow, I'm going
right. Yeah.
Bite the pillow, I'm going in dry.
That's what happens, man.
Oh, I broke him. I got him.
Those camper vans out in the missile field. That's what those are actually for.
I got him.
So you know,
he said, "Lube, what's that?"
Yep.
It's a whole different meaning to one up, one down.
You heard it. Ooh. Second channel is completely disassociated with the firearms brand, but it will be under the Tundra umbrella. And we are starting a theme park channel.
Oh,
interestingly enough. That little girl that you saw earlier is being introduced for the first year to rides. Rides happen to be a big part of my life. I love going on them. I love theme parks. I love amusement parks, roller coasters specifically. It's an adult hobby. It's not something that I've had, like maybe like 17 years old. I started like really getting into it. Not to the point where I'm like in expert knowledge on how everything works. I just like the entertainment value of being in 0G essentially, which is fucking awesome. If you've never had the opportunity to feel that, do it. It's dope.
pretty cool.
I mean,
but,
I jump out of planes, so
yeah, there you go. Yeah, so I was out actually at the theme park local to here, Valley Fair, today, and I shot probably 2 hours worth of B-roll for our first intro video that we're going to be putting up.
Nice.
Hopefully within the next couple of weeks. I think we came up with a working title too. It's Tundra Travels Family Adventures. A lot of buzzwords in that one. I was SEOing the shit out of that title. Actually, I lied. It was a suggestion from a fan, and I just modified it slightly. So thank you, Dr. Catmilk. Another shout out.
One of us is never smarter than all of us.
Dr. Catmilk. Yep, Dr. Catmilk. He is one of my moderators and Discord member extraordinaire. Oh, please tell me, are you doing that for a specific reason? There's a specific reason where people go to me, and that's because of Masad Ayub. Do you guys know who Masad Ayub is?
No,
I'm aware of the name. Yes.
Okay. Him and Ken Hackathorn, we did a video on this recently. Well, not recently. I don't know, probably 4 or 5 months ago. Him and Ken Hackathorn were smoking some shit, and decided to air some public opinions.
Smoking the reefer.
And boy, did they not go over well. And let's just say we did a video on it. It was very funny to do a video on.
This sounds familiar.
I'm not gonna burden the listeners. They already know probably what I'm talking about. But if you haven't checked it out, just Google Ken Hackathorn, Masad Ayub together. You'll find everything you need to know. Maybe you could even watch the video on Tundra Tactical over on YouTube if you're just tuning in. See, I'm a master at self promotion. I'm shameless. I was out at the theme park today saying, "Go check it out, Tundra Tactical over on YouTube." Yep, screaming down the roller coaster.
Actually, all he did, guys, is he took one of those signs out there and he was just spinning it all day. He was just standing
100%.
there, just
secret talent,
learning some tricks, With fucking headphones in.
Yeah, so we're starting that up, and the goal is, I am not a firm believer in higher education in terms of college. Like, if you do college, great. More power to you. I think it's a ripoff because that was my experience.
Tune in to the Live Fire Live on Friday. I'm going to be ripping college a new one. That is actually what I'm talking about.
So my daughter, I've made a pact with myself as a dad to not actively influence my daughter's life, to not try to push her in a direction. I'll show her options and I'll let her make the decision and make the pick. If she's making a really bad choice, I might say, "You sure? Like, life's a really good teacher and it's going to kick the shit out of you on this one. Right. You can do it if you want to. I'm not going to stop, but I'll try to, but I'm never going to stop her from doing something. I'm never going to try to push her into where I would like her to go as an adult, is into the military. Whether she chooses to enlist or go to college, would be fantastic. If she chooses not to, that's her choice. Totally fine. And ain't going to bother me none. But what she will have when she turns 18 is this YouTube channel that I have built for her and taught her how to manage financially, taught her how to work SEO, algorithms, learn everything about video production, camera work, and all of the marketable skills associated with that, and have a massive income at the time she's 18 that she has earned and built from the ground up with her dad. I will sign that over to her when she turns 18 and said, if you want to go to college, go nuts.
By the time she turns 18, dude, everybody's just going to be plugged into the neural net anyway, and she can just beam it straight to their brains.
She will be 5 years ahead of all of her competition.
That's amazing, and I'm really glad that you brought that up, because my fathering philosophy is very similar. Because I have an 11-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, almost 5, and a 5-month-old. And so it's like I'm also working to try to figure out what I want to be the legacy to turn over.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And so it's like I want to have two things. I want to have a working business for them that is built up, that they can take over and then manage. To which I will, at the time that I'm ready to turn it over to them, we will talk about the philosophy of what's best for it. But there comes a time where you have to take the hands off the steering wheel and be like, now you put your hands on the steering wheel and I'm off. I'm out because I can't do it for you.
It's on you, bud.
Now it's on you. I got my retirement. I built that into the equation. So yeah, escape pod, dude. Like, pull the hammer, Goose. Like, and then 2 is property. Like I will have property to turn over to them too, so that if all else fails,
I certainly hope I make enough money one day to do that too, because that'd be dope as hell.
But that's the two things where it's like,
Awesome.
if I have nothing else, a business and property, then like that is my legacy that I'm going to leave to the next.
My one talent that I've brought to the family that is positive is ambition. I have just an unlimited amount of ambition. So a lot of the times, to a greatly detrimental effect to myself, some of my personal relationships. That ambition takes over for me, and I don't even know if I can make a second channel successful, but I am certainly going to try. And I feel like my motivation is pretty good to make it work. And the way I think about it is I got a fucking plaque back there that you can't see in the gun world, man. And I had to fight tooth and nail for that sumbitch.
That's awesome.
Dude, making a fucking channel about roller coasters, it's the easiest fucking thing in the world. Like, I mean, I'm not, okay, let me rephrase, because I'm sure there's there's a listener out there like, fuck you, it's really hard, I do that.
I've been doing it for 10 years.
Right, yeah.
So to that one Terry out there, buddy,
Terry.
I feel the pain. Okay, I worked through it too, man. I worked through it too. Terry, you keep fighting, fight the power, fight the man.
I'm really glad to hear you say that, because I do just want to say, like, for comparisons purposes, 118,000 subscribers, almost 1,300. Right over here, like the level of disparity here is vast. But the fact that you took the time, we connected on Instagram, I believe, like longtime fan, like coming onto the channel.
I love doing podcasts. This is what I love.
Yeah, and we're so grateful to have you on.
Definitely.
And like, I've had a great time with the conversation. So it's like,
happy to do it anytime, boys.
Yeah, and we hope to have you back. I'm just going to go ahead and put that plug in like super early. Would love to have you back over to talk about some more stuff in the future. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because for people out there like the Terry, and I'm glad that you brought that up, that's still doing, it's like, plug along, dude. We talked about it earlier. It's like, if you don't know what you're doing or things aren't working, again, like, a weekend of Googling and YouTubing, and you can get another degree in another thing. If your videography is not working for you, you can spend another, 36 hours on the internet, figure out what you need, go from there.
Did I literally rebuild my lawnmower engine on YouTube?
Exactly.
There's a fucking niche for it.
I redid my German car's fuse box using YouTube. I'm not a mechanic. It's really funny. I'm a medic. I'm not a mechanic. Like, mechanical things don't make any sense to me whatsoever.
That's not me either.
So
hilarious.
Can I give this? Oh, sorry.
But just
continue on.
Let me. Yeah. So to wrap up my point is, like, just keep grinding, keep figuring it out, and there is space enough on the internet for. Like, kind of, the Macho Man Randy, like, the cream will rise to the top. And Brandon and I, Brandon and I are huge on the democratization of ideas and the democratization of information. And the thing is, in a true, and we're huge free speech guys. Like, I would say the number one thing on our channel is 1A, right? So if you're a 2A guy, we're a 1A guy. In the background, like, you don't see, like,
what's the famous phrase?
Like, I mean,
like, they're hand in hand.
You have the two, so the first, in case the first didn't work out,
guarantees the other one.
They're hand in hand.
My point is, like, I do guns in the background. You just don't see it on camera. Like, I come on here to fight for the 1A because I think it's the most important thing in the world. But that's why on the internet, guys, like, there's room for all of us, is what I'm saying. There is room for everybody, and we need you. Right? Yes. Like, the dude out there that's the plumber that's been plumbing for 20 years and, like, can tell you everything about
fucking
how to
Bill.
Yeah, Bill. I gotta.
He talks like this because he smokes 2 packs a day.
Yeah, the FUD.
I know.
Remind me to ask you about your fascination with the FUDs, because I'm going to. But anyway, it's like, what? Let me wrap this up really quick. We need all of you. Get on the internet. Let your voice be heard. Like, maybe you rise up, maybe you don't. But my point is, it's like, there's a community to be had in every single thing that people talk about. Like, as many things that have ever been written about in the history of the world, there is space on the internet and places like YouTube and Rumble to have podcast channels about and to talk about. And you'll find a community that'll be interested, and you can share information, and then all of us will be better for it, because the one time that I need to know how to cock a joint, I'm gonna stumble across your YouTube channel, Bill, and then you'll have taught me how to do it.
Sorry.
Right? But I mean, like that's my cockage. No, Hulk.
Yeah.
Hulk.
Hulk.
Sorry, I had to be an 8-year-old.
That's my
point. To put a finer point on what you were saying too, man. To put a finer point on what you were saying is, don't stand in your own way if you're thinking about making content. No. Just fucking do it. Just pull the trigger. If it sucks right off the bat. You're gonna figure it out. People are gonna tell you.
Yeah, mine did at first.
Right? Yeah,
I
put out literal ass, just fucking cheeks before, and that's fine, dude. I'm gonna get better. You're gonna figure it out.
I'm fairly certain my ass cheeks are on the internet somewhere.
Yeah,
I won't tell you where to find. You gotta work for those.
I'm gonna find it. So
yeah, you gotta work for those.
Brandon, what's the quote about don't like if you're not willing to be? I'm gonna screw it up. If you're not willing to be terrible at something at first, you'll never be great at it.
Sure.
Yeah. No, fair enough.
Because you will be terrible at it at first. The entire military training process is you suck. You are a terrible person. I'm going to break you down to 0, make you do it 1,000 times. And then all of a sudden you come out of the military and you're like, yeah, I can put together a machine gun in my sleep. But the only reason I can still do that is because I've done it 1,000 times when I was asleep.
I've got a great little segue here for you. When you were talking about what you're talking about right here is doing it 1,000 times expertise, the Dunning-Kruger effect is where I'm going with this. A lot of people look at the Dunning. This is going to be a really weird explanation. I'm not going in the direction you think I'm going. The Dunning-Kruger effect, to me, a lot of people think the Dunning-Kruger effect is a terrible, terrible thing. It's an example of like a bunch of idiocracy and a bunch of self-proclaimed experts who really don't know what they're actually talking about because they haven't put the time to master their craft in. They've gotten to that point where they know, once again, like I say, just enough to be dangerous. I always thought, why is that such a bad thing? Because that must mean, like you were saying earlier, information is so readily available that at the drop of a hat, at your whim, you can choose a skill, any skill, underwater fucking basket weaving if you want to, and you can learn the basics of that skill enough to be relatively proficient in about, 50 to 100 hours?
Well, at least enough to go in and wreck somebody's YouTube comments.
Yeah, dude. Oh hell yeah! You only need. I think you get that that cert right out the gate. That's just the gimme.
Well,
oh yeah. Yep.
Real
go fucking do it, man. Party hardy, dicks out, and go. I always say this is another shout out to one of my guys, Wagon. Crumpy, fuck it, we ball. That's our motto. Nice. Like if we're gonna do something, we just say fuck it, we ball. We're gonna do it.
But to add a little trajectory to your Dunning-Kruger effect, pun intended, right? Hey. It's like you jump up here because it's competency over time is what that. If anybody's ever seen it, it starts like this and it goes, this is how much I know about a thing over time, and it goes up and it spikes and then it falls precipitously and then it rises again over time like that, right? And so the idea is, I like to equate it to that pilot that's only been, it's like, when do you have the most mishaps in flight? It's like right around that 10,000 hour flight time, because now all of a sudden you know what you're doing and your confidence has shot way up, but your competency hasn't actually caught up yet. And then once you get that first like, oh shit moment when you have like a come to Jesus meeting, and we've all had it in some form or another at one point, and then it falls down to where your actual competency is, your confidence and your competence meet up, and then they start rising together to where then you become that true master over time, and you look back and you go, no, I know what I'm doing. And that's the guy that looks at you and goes, like, that's also the person that becomes the greatest teacher, because he looks at you and your journey back at the next person and goes, no, I know where you're at and I can help you get over that. Follow me because I'm going to help you skip over, unless you want to get hit with every heat round that I got hit with, and step in every bear trap that I stepped in. Like, let me help you.
I just always thought like the joke that I would always make to myself is the Dunning-Kruger effect is just an excuse for me to become dangerously knowledgeable about something new in a weekend. Like, if I want to do it, I can do it. And that's the point that I'm trying to make about this all is, once again, information is so readily available that at your whim, at a moment of your choosing, you can make the decision literally right now to learn how to do glass blowing or make bread. I don't fucking pick a topic. You can learn how to do it.
You can learn how to blow anything in a weekend.
I mean, practice makes perfect, and just don't use teeth.
That's why there's OnlyFans.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Although some of those girls use teeth. I've seen some weird shit. What do we want to talk about? We talked about YouTube for what, like 2 fucking hours now. I'm sure the audience is bored of me talking about YouTube.
Yeah, no, this has been awesome, man. This has been absolutely awesome. So actually at this point, I do have one thing that I want to circle around to, but I'll turn it over to Brandon for a little bit for anything that you would have, man, if it's not putting you on the spot.
Oh no, man. I don't know as much about you as Chris does, because I don't spend as much time on GunTube at all. But you said that you were TACP in the Air Force.
Yeah, I started off I was a weapons guy, 2W1, 2 Whiskey 1, and just hated maintenance, I guess. I mean, I like the job, I like the people that I work with, but you know how it goes as a cop, right? The pilots are all partying, everyone hit their ute rate, you know. Base gets the day off, and who's stuck with their dick in their hand fixing jets guarding, you know, fucking checkpoints.
Bro, if you've ever been to a fucking pilot squadron, dude, literally all of them have an amazing. Well, they have an amazing.
They literally party in front of you.
That's it.
They party in front of you.
They're like the rock stars, right?
Yep.
Big facts, dude. Like they'll have like if it's a fucking helo squadron, they'll have one of the blades as the actual bar, you know, and that's all they do is fucking show up, plan missions, get drunk, fucking sleep it off, and then fly the next
day.
Party.
Pilots, I do love my pilots, though. I don't have anything against my pilots. It's just
you'd have to.
I hate pilots.
I know, dude. Like that's your entire fucking job.
I've seen Spooky rain hate overseas, and and he was protecting me.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know who Spooky is, like
I do know Spooky well.
That is one of the baddest platforms in all of the United States military.
There's nothing like seeing a 155 go not 155, 105 go straight fucking down.
And I was on a rooftop in Syria, and we were working on withdrawing back from the FLOT, and they were running aerial cover for us, and we were doing basically like a 12-hour fob destruction, destruction, dude. And it was wild. And I probably should admit to this, but like we were leaving the stuff behind, and I totally went up and we took the TV out of our room, like the stuff that just couldn't get deaded or couldn't like leave.
Sure.
And I was like, my buddy, I was like, Jake, I was like, come up here. And he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, screw ISIS. And I just like grabbed our microwave, like anything that didn't go on the dead shot. Right. And we were up on the roof, and I have videos of us just chucking it off the roof. And I was like, screw you. You're not playing Xbox.
You're not getting this.
This is not fucking shit.
Like this stuff. And then we went downstairs and we pissed on the mattresses. And I was just like, screw you, dude.
Hell yeah,
like,
dude.
Gotta love
we did
spite.
That. And then I had to no, actually, I can't say that one because I can't say that one.
Don't
but
get yourself in trouble.
Yeah, but like there was some other stuff that we had to get rid of, and so it's like we did some stuff, and then like we went up on the roof, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm ripping a dart, and I'm watching, and really funny. I come out on the
fucking loser. What are you from Canada? Go back to Manitoba, you nerd.
Ripping a dart. I'm ripping a darty. So
okay, buddy.
So anyway,
fuck, bud. Start feeding you the right and the left. Sorry, I'm gonna shut up.
To be fair.
To be fair.
So we go walking out on the rooftop above the room that we were staying in, because we got everything ripped down, and there's a headlamp from like the Marine Sec Corps dude that's over in the corner, and the headlamp is just like and Jake and I are like in the dark, we're like, hey, and the headlamp goes and I was like, just let you know that we're out here, dude. It was like,
you're not alone, dude. But you can keep going if you want, dude.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm not gonna like
don't blue balls yourself.
We're going over there, but I just wanted you to know that we were out here. You know, it's like,
man,
don't let it stop,
dude. I know hindsight is 20/20, but would it just have been the best? You know, you see the headlamp going, you just go, "Are you winning, son?"
Yeah,
fuck. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what would be worse.
Oh God, that's a good story right there. In fact, I recommend it just turns into a fishing story where you embellish that part. You can take that, add it in there for free.
That's true.
Yeah, but I have this thing about integrity that gets in my way all the time. So anyway. Yeah. So anyway, we go walking around the corner, Jake and I, and we sit down and like we pull out, we start smoking a cigarette, and we're just watching, and like Spooky comes over, and then we put our nods on, and we're just watching Spooky like sparkle the city, you know, and I won't say where we were, but he was just flying L's, sparking the city.
Sure.
And then guns start going on.
It's fun to watch, isn't it?
We're just watching them, and then the 105 comes firing on. Boom! Boom! And he just, all 3 weapon systems that he had were just laid on. And I know for a fact
that's why that guy was doing that.
Those loadies that were in there, dude, they're just just like hauling. And by the way, one of the coolest jobs that I have ever seen is a loadmaster on a C-130 running that stuff, because I didn't realize that those guys' job, once they grab, like, they have to grab the round, arm the round as they're moving it, and then if like there's turbulence or something weird that's happened, their job is to hug the round and like take it to the ground and belly it. So that if that round detonates, like, they eat that round. Like, that's what they're taught.
It's not gonna do anything.
I know, but still, in principle,
like, that's gotta be the closest thing in modernity to being a fucking pirate, dude. Like, just loading the fucking cannons on the side of the ship.
I never thought of that, man.
That's really the closest fucking thing. That's literally what it is, dude.
We're coming broadside.
Literally, bro. Avast ye, mateys, you shall walk the plank in the spicy seas. Avast.
Did you imagine just go back in time and take one of those fucking dudes loaded cannons on a pirate ship and just put him in an airplane after he gets over his fucking anxiety attack and his freak out of being in the fucking air? I bet
it's like, now they're pointy. Take that and put it in that.
Yeah, just put it.
Oh, yar.
The whole plane is gonna go this way when it fires, but just brace yourself, right? You're used to that. Fine. Yeah. Hold fast, motherfucker.
That's a good point, man.
Brandon, I forgot your original question. What was it? Did you forget it too? Did you ask me a question? I don't know. I know you were supposed to talk, and you kind of went off on a tangent.
No, it's okay. Chris is a good talker, and I know he was really excited to have you on here. So I was kind of letting him run the show tonight. So, but no, I asked if you said I didn't know.
You're my guest.
It's okay.
Sorry.
I didn't even know. I'm not even gonna. Yeah,
it's okay.
Chris
Brandon,
is actually.
You can log off. We got this.
Yeah, I'm just sitting in the cuck chair over here at this point. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you are. You're in the middle.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, just in the cuck chair.
Let the boy watch.
Honey, you go ahead.
Learn.
The boy watch.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll just film. Is that you having fun? Hold my hand. Hold my hand.
There you go.
Right. Tell me.
Hey, you know what?
Can I
fucking
finish?
Team player.
That's right.
Sorry.
No.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's actually pretty cool.
This is gonna make our relationship stronger when it's over.
I like it.
You know?
Be so much closer.
We're gonna be so much closer, dude. Hey, just don't text him on the side without me, okay? Yeah.
Oh, that's our limit. Is that that's okay? So I got you.
No, it's really cool, man. Like Brandon and I actually. So there was another channel that we followed separately over on the Instagram side, and just through like virtue of following these same guys in like this same space, my channel, which is Common Freaking Sense, which is like more of an Instagram like influencer thing that I run over there. It's just like a lot of memery and just general tomfoolery that I do, but everything's with a point to kind of cut through propaganda and help people like really see what's going on, kind of doing the information operations thing, but as a good guy is the way I see it. That's how Brennan and I got like hooked up, and then we started like numbers got exchanged and we just started talking. And I was a guest on this podcast originally. Awesome. Like 4 months ago now?
Yeah, this is exactly how like everything started for me too. Like you're telling me my origin story on live streams.
No, it's just really hilarious because what I'm saying is like Brandon and I have become basically best friends, and we've become best friends in the span of a year, which is a weird thing that military guys have the ability to do.
It's such an easy fucking thing to do, man. And if you could not see somebody for 10 fucking years, you run into them randomly, and it's like you're on post.
And then again,
I literally, man, I had that happen.
Now we're back to the beginning of the podcast. Hey, what's up, you asshole?
Fuck you, bud.
Bitch. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and so now we run this thing together, and like we have a co-vision, and there's
awesome.
A place that we're going, and we're going to be 1A.
Trying to be as cool
warriors.
as you one day, man. Yeah, 1A warriors. Yeah, exactly. Trying to build a fucking community.
It's funny that you say that trying to be like you or trying to be as cool as you or something like that, like you just said, because that's always been my response. I've never actually heard that said to me before. So thanks for saying that. I appreciate it.
Well, no, I mean, man, like I can only
appreciate it.
You're the tallest midget in the room, so
that's true. Let's go. Right? Let's go. Where are my short kings at?
It's like I'm 4'11".
on an apple box.
Excuse me, can you?
Exactly.
Yeah, can you reach that cereal? Yes, I can.
Yes, I can. That's right. Yeah. He's like, we're a size 8 in kids.
Oh. You haven't graduated to adult sizes yet?
Yeah, you fucker.
Have you lost all your baby teeth? All right.
Applesauce only.
I don't know why I said that. Yeah. Oh, gumming it.
Yep.
I bet you're popular. Nice. Yeah. I don't know. What else do we talk about?
Dude,
we talked about, like I said, yeah.
Yeah, so I have one more for you if you're willing to get a little bit political. So now I'm kind of pulling you from the GunTube side into our side a little bit.
I will do my best.
Nice.
I will do my best.
Get out of the cup chair for a little bit.
There you go. Yeah. So actually, Brandon, I'm going to serve it up to you. But I wanted to, from our side, talk to him about some of the stuff that's going on today, like the Trump trial, like what's going on with you guys were talking about like the college scam a little bit earlier.
Sure.
And then what was the other thing that you guys brought up? It was like more of a culture war issue was, well, I just generally like more where the election is going.
Okay.
So those would be like kind of the three topics that I would serve up, which is more like 1A stuff. So kind of
I have no problem talking about that. I am horribly inept at talking about that stuff. That is way outside of my area of expertise, but I will do my best to try to be me and be, honest about whatever I can be honest about. I'll probably be speaking out of my ass the whole time though, because I don't know much about the politics side. I'll do my best.
Yeah, no worries. No, man. Chris, I heard an idea today about this, and one of those things was that this election this year is too big to be rigged, too big to rig, and it was an interesting thought because I mean, this is my personal opinion, right? I think something happened in 2020 to make that happen, whether it's just social media influence or it's the mail-in ballot thing or whatever. Because I know a lot of people got mail-in ballots from other states they were not even registered voter in, quite a few people. And that actually happened to me as well. And I was stationed in Germany at the time, and I actually got a mail ballot to me from Texas, and I'm not even a fucking resident of Texas, so that was kind of weird. But I think that this year, too many people are aware of just some of the things that are going on or have gone on the past couple of years. Just the weaponization of the judicial system in our country. The fact that the guy that's fucking overseeing the trial, the judge, said that even if it's a split decision, the jury, that he's still going to find him guilty. Like, there's not a fucking precedent for anything like that.
I believe that's called a witch hunt.
It is a witch hunt. Yeah, Mershon, however you say his fucking name. That guy's daughter actually is a political strategist for the DNC, so which is not biased at all, which is supposed to be, why when you look at the symbol for justice, she's wearing a blindfold. That's part of that whole thing. But yeah, man, I had that conversation today about it being quote unquote too big to rig. I feel a little bit more confident that might be true, but I just kind of was curious, thinking we're coming on the podcast tonight, what you would think about that statement. Too big to rig?
Man. Well, okay. Let's see how I want to unpack that one. I've always touched this subject with delicate gloves, because my opinion on it and my opinion on politics in general is somewhat different, I guess, than a lot of other, well, maybe not anymore. Maybe the viewpoint that I have is a little bit more common now in the gun community. I usually don't voice it though. People who talk about rigged elections and things like that, I feel like a vast majority of them just believe it's rigged because they didn't get what they wanted.
Agreed.
I would say that a vast majority of people who say, oh, it's rigged, they don't have any factual basis or evidence. And that's going to piss a lot of people off, because a lot of people listening right now are those people.
Yeah.
But that's, well, I guess it's not a terrible person thing to have. It's not the case. Like, you can't just say something's rigged because you didn't get what you want, or because you saw a slight piece of uncorroborated opinion from somebody else on TikTok saying this. If you got hard evidence, great news. You got a thread to pull on. And can that happen? Yes, absolutely fucking right. It can. Will the government and can the government influence things and yourself and the vote and rig things and shit like that? Abso-fucking-lutely. Do I know of any specific cases of when it happened? I don't pay that much attention. But
actually, I feel like a lot of people were. You remember like Sidney Powell during the 2020 election, and like Trump was going through the whole like legal process to start challenging votes in like certain states, and then all of a sudden Sidney Powell, this attorney from, I still can't even remember like where she's from, started coming out, and she started having like her own cases that she was doing, and then even at one point during the process between November and December, even the Trump campaign was like, she's not with us and we don't know what she's doing and why. Remember? Yeah. And then like Mike Lindell, the My Pillow guy, was getting in on it. And then
it's a fucking home stater of mine right here. Let's fucking go there, bud.
And then I remember during that year, I was over in Oklahoma doing a training event, and I ran into like a former military guy, former Navy SEAL turned PA down there, and he was one of these dudes that was just full on. He was like, trust the plan, brother, it's all going to get worked out in court January 6th, like the vote's not going to get. And I was looking at this guy and I'm like,
it's not the case.
Dude, I literally had a family member tell me that they were going to bomb Beijing to prevent the election from being confirmed, and I was like, what does that have to do with anything? I'm like, right. I've never, anyway.
And that's kind of the point that I'm trying to make is the people will go to a very, very long length to not admit that they were wrong on an opinion or they chose the losing side. They've always got to be correct. That's fine, but just
every
like,
libertarian ever.
That's pretty much. But like at the same point there, like you gotta, at some point you gotta. I don't know.
Yeah, we were talking about Brandon Herrera earlier, and I was on Twitter looking about
that made me sad.
For sure, and I was reading just some of the comments underneath the post that they shared about his unfortunate loss. But somebody basically made the point that a bunch of Democrats went and voted for Tony Gonzalez or whatever his name is, his political opponent. And somebody made the comment, and there was a bunch of people that were agreeing with him that said that essentially, if you're a registered Democrat, you shouldn't have been able to vote in that district during the election. It's like, this is to your point, Tyler, that, people want to change the rules or they say something is rigged because it doesn't go their way. Like, I would never advocate that just because you're registered another way doesn't mean that you don't have the opportunity to vote in an election when you're totally legal and allowed to vote. Like, just because you're upset about the outcome.
Yeah, there's this weird, like, huzzah, like, a man should follow the rules. Oh, I will see you out back for fisticuffs at noon behind the... And it's like, dude, that's you've got one side that's like screaming for decorum and tradition, and then you have another side that's been willing to do whatever it takes, knives out, to win every single time. And I think coming into 2024, we're starting to see a wave crest on one side of the politic scheme where it's like people are starting to realize like winning is important. If you want to affect policy, you need to win. Clutching your pearls and screaming about decorum and, tradition what's that gotten you for the last 60 years?
Well, and historically speaking, it doesn't really work all that great either.
Right.
You can cite a few opportunities where, that slipped up.
I think one time that it worked, people literally got on a boat and said, I'm going to sail 5,000 miles that way.
Doing the whole thing fucking
yeah, right.
F you.
If you're listening to this on the podcast, I just flipped off the camera and said,
yeah, it's fine. No, but that was the American Revolution was basically like the 1770s version of like F you, F you. F you. They looked at France. They were like,
You're cool.
You're cool.
I love it. I love the reference. I knew exactly where it's same wavelength right here, bud. I like it.
We're on it, dude.
Dude, even though not even that long ago, some of those people were fighting the French just a couple decades previously. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I happen to have had the pleasure of being able to call Mr. Brandon Herrera my good buddy for a long time. This is actually hilarious. Brandon was to me what I am to you guys. Like, he was my first big. Well, I don't know if I'm your first big guest, but like he was my first big guest on the show, and at the time I think he had like 17,000 subscribers. That's how long I've known him for now, and I'm sure he won't ever admit in public to knowing me personally, but he's been on the show quite a few times, and it's been an honor to see him go, or like call him a friend and watch him go through this process. And I'll be honest with you, there was somebody in my stream chat last night who was bitching about him losing. And he's like, oh, it's rigged, and that's where immediately my brain went to when you answered that question. As I was thinking of that guy, he might not be wrong. Like I'm not
right.
like my brain doesn't go all Joe Rogan right out the gate and go straight to conspiracy. Anything is possible, absolutely. Like if you can show me like compelling, even circumstantial evidence, and there's a yarn to pull on there. I'm a pragmatist. I will pull that yarn. I will be interested to know where it goes. But if it's just I didn't get what I want and I'm going to bitch about it, well, I don't got fucking time for you, bud.
Yeah. Oh, I love it for you, bud.
I'm Canadian too. I'm South Canadian.
Don't get on to me again, bud.
Just remember, we're close enough to the border where the war crime tendencies bleed over. Don't fuck with Minnesota.
Listen, give your balls a tug, bud.
What part of Minnesota?
I'm in the cities area.
Okay. I've only ever been
southwest side of the Twin Cities.
Oh,
I was just in Duluth for the air show.
Yeah, I actually commented on your video.
From each other.
Actually, you did. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I just said that I got my first tattoo in Duluth.
Oh, that was you. Okay,
was
right
me.
on. Yeah, man. I read that this morning.
True.
Yeah, I read that this morning.
Yeah. No, man. I think it's funny too because the whole election denial thing has been just the past couple of years been wrapped up in that it's just like a Trump thing. But Hillary Clinton said the same shit when she lost him in 2016. Oh, yeah. Fucking Stacey
every
Abrams.
Politician does it.
It is everybody, man. It's just something that you.
Well, and that's kind of what I respect. I'm sorry to keep talking over you, man. I have a horrible habit of doing that. But this is like one of the reasons why I respect Brandon. He's not attacking Tony. He's not doing. Now, am I saying he's rolling over and accepting defeat? I'm sure. No. I know Brandon well enough to know that there's something equally. I think to quote a friend, there's something equally epic coming in the future for one Brandon Herrera, and that makes sense to me because that's who he is. He understands where he's at right now is the best possible place for him to be at the moment, and he's going to make. I can guarantee goddamn to you, he's going to make the best of every opportunity that he has because of this event and the path that it leads him down now. That's the kind of guy Brandon is. He's not going to bitch and whine about it.
Right. No, and he's defended himself really well because I followed just a lot of what he says like online about this, and just the fact that he came that close to beating that guy and how much money that Tony Gonzalez did and spent to campaign against him, like we were saying earlier, is amazing.
Yeah, he pissed off a lot of rich people that had to keep funding Tony's pockets to fight him off.
That's the best.
I fucking love that Tony's posts kept getting community noted because they were just all fucking lies on X. Did you see that? It's just like everything he fucking said was just community noted.
I had the live feed coming in from behind the scenes there. Not, you know, I don't want to say anything that'll get anyone.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
But you get the point. Like I got
name
some
dropping now, bud.
Well, this one, you know, I don't want to go that far, but I got a couple of text messages with a couple of pictures and be like, can you believe this shit? You know, it was awesome. Pretty funny. It was pretty. That's funny. Awesome. But you know, like, I mean, that's once again, you know, I was just talking about how this isn't going to slow him down. I don't know if he's going to go for round 2 when he can. I don't know if he's going to fucking run for president next. Like that is the spectrum of Brandon Herrera's activities in the future. We just don't know. What we should be excited for is how entertaining the goddamn ride is going to be. And one day he is going to find a way to get his fucking foot in the door.
Also, I do just want to say the AK-50 lives.
It does live.
The AK-50 lives.
I have a great story about the AK-50 if you'd like to devolve back into the gun tube talk for a little bit.
Let's do it.
As long as the cuck's okay with it.
I will attempt to keep it very brief. I will attempt to keep it very brief. When I used to have Brandon on the show, I would ask for AK-50 updates, right?
Okay.
And so like we have some like outside of his videos, I think that we were some of the only place like some of the only source of content or like information that you could get for the AK-50 outside of Brandon's actual channel. And he would come on our show and talk about every tiny little detail and its problems. Like if you were an engine nerd, you would love the times when Brandon would come on because he'd talk about the galling issues and all the stuff with the bolt and this and that. And, you know, oh, this metallurgy sucks, but this one's been doing great. And now it's going to take 16 weeks to mill this new piece. Like he'd go into so much detail. So when that thing finally came to being, like, I'm not gonna say like I felt like I had a hand in it, but like I remember
you were on the roller coaster ride.
Like I had a little glimpse behind the curtain there to see
that's awesome.
like real Brandon, not camera Brandon, but real engineer Brandon work that thing out in his brain and describe it to a bunch of DJs watching my show. And it was some of the best content I've ever put out on the internet that nobody watched.
That's really cool, man. Like when he put out the video, like the AK-50 is here. Number one, like the first thing, like when that thing went off, to see that barrel whip in real time of that 50 BMG is just, it's.
Did you cream?
Dope.
It's sexy.
A little bit.
It's just sexy, dude. It's just this giant cock, just whoa, like burping out like just a half of an inch of just steel load, like out the end of it. It's pretty cool. And then
stop talking dirty.
I know. And then another thing was like when he described, because I was like, again, I don't know anything mechanical, but when he was talking about the fact of like you can't just it wasn't as simple as
you
just
can't
like
scale it up. Yeah,
here's how big it is, and then like if we just scaled it up, this is an idea.
30 feet long.
Like. I was like, oh, that's what my idiot brain needed to see.
Yes,
I'm like, oh, okay, now I understand what you guys are talking about. Like, because I thought it was just like,
why don't you just make it bigger? Right?
Just make it bigger, dude. Just bigger it, and then it'll be fine.
Yep. Sorry, let's go back to the. We'll get off the 2A. Go back to the 1.
Again, army brain, guys.
Oh, no, you're good.
That's my army brain working. I'm like, if some is good, more is better, right?
This is definitely the Brandon stuff is a lot more challenging for me. I got to think about this. I got to be good. Let's see if I can be good.
Got to take my alpha brain there, Joe Rogan.
Right? Yeah, Joe Rogan. Let's go.
It works, you know.
So hit me with something. What do you got? We're talking about the whole what was I just saying? The deniers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say something, Chris. Sorry.
Yep. Nope.
No. I was waiting for you. This is we transitioned over to our show stuff, so it's all you, man.
Yeah. No, man. Honestly, I think that I'm really interested to hear what's gonna happen with the Trump trial stuff, like you mentioned earlier, dude. Because I do feel like if I heard the other day that the Secret Service was like talking to the whatever fucking prison there about like accommodating Trump. Like I have a lot of people try to make a big deal about that. And I think it's probably more a procedural thing, just knowing like how the government works. You know, the Secret Service has to know what the fuck to do.
The decision's already made.
Yeah,
and
that's the implication. And I think that just, again, just knowing how shit works behind the scenes is probably a conversation they just have to have, and somebody's using it as an opportunity to turn it into a talking point. But
I'm sorry to interrupt once again, but like that's the consequence of, to use another buzzword, the 24-hour news cycle that we get force-fed information constantly. Yeah, our brains have been naturally conditioned to find a story where there might not be a story, because that's what people do. That's what the I am guilty of this. I do this for money. I've made clickbait before. Like, I know how it goes in my head. There's $1 to be made on that headline. I'm going to run it. A lot of people have the integrity that Chris was talking about earlier, and they might refrain, but there is always the bottom of the barrel folks out there.
Chris doesn't even have the integrity that Chris talks about. Chris tries to have it.
Okay, fair enough. Goals.
Fair enough. Goals. Yeah, we all have to have them.
Goals.
But yeah, that's the way I see it, I guess.
No, that's a really good point, and I think probably what we're seeing is you have two federal agencies. You have the FBI. You have the guys that work the prison, right? The Department of Corrections there in New York, Rikers, and then you've got the Secret Service, and those people have to start talking behind closed doors about like, if we're gonna do this, Title 18 of like the U.S. Code, the federal code says Secret Service has complete and total jurisdiction of any building that a protectee is in. That means that if you take
holy shit, I never thought about that.
If Trump goes to jail, he will literally have Secret Service protection inside Rikers.
Of that entire prison. Yep. And we own your prison.
There's actually protocols in place for if somebody like let's say Trump becomes president. Let's just say like he gets convicted, he goes to fucking jail, and then because of that, just wins the landslide presidency. They have to make accommodations. There are actual protocols for this, for him to like have TS access and all. Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, it makes total sense.
Could you fucking imagine though? Like,
right, and then so
I absolutely couldn't. Like, I was
jail. You know?
Okay, I mean this. So you have to remember, like, I'm a satirist and a comedian. A comedian might be a loose term, but I like to make people laugh.
I mean, kind of like how Joe Biden is the president. It's a loose term.
Okay.
Sure,
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Are we talking
Tyler does better with his
loose
teleprompter, you know?
Very good, very good. I am speaking to you from my teleprompter now. Are we talking loose term for like the screws or the bowels or the inner ear working? Who knows? But anyways, what I'm thinking to myself is I like where your head's at.
Thank you.
This is like the next big reality show, right? Like
it is
President from Prison, or something like that. Like
prison.
It's already writing itself.
It is, dude.
But I mean that as a complete joke, not to make fun or light of the situation. Like I'm not going to make fun of anybody whose life is in the balance. So
just imagine the prison entourage that Trump would have there. Just all these fucking. Everybody,
I'm literally, dude,
laser,
sleeveless
laser.
cutoffs. He's got a fucking sleeve, dude. He's got a prison sleeve.
Right.
He comes out like the
cornrows,
dude. Yeah, now
okay.
Dude,
they're gonna be pretty thin. They're gonna be pretty thin cornrows, but
teardrop tattoos.
See, unfortunately, Donnie's not gonna be.
This is how many people I've fired.
Oh,
in this
that's
prison.
good.
Stormy Daniels is showing up for conjugal visits.
I wish I had a Shane Gillis like impression to drop for you guys, but my Trump impression is terrible.
His fucking 9/11, his Australian on 9/11 impression, that every time I hear that, it fucking kills me, dude. Oh no,
Shane Gillis is the best. The best. You know,
he is the best.
Total change of pace.
Nice.
I'm going to take over for just a second. Well, who's everyone's favorite comedian right now?
Much.
Honestly, probably Shane Gillis. Honestly,
Shane Gillis is up there for me. I've got one that just beats him, though.
Okay. Wait, now Chris.
I'm waiting for Chris.
I can't even remember the guy's name. Hold on. I'm going to have to take a minute.
I'll give you some time.
I still like
this guy.
Mine is
I like anybody that puts a hand up somebody else's ass.
Hey, there you go. There's a couple of tube sites for that.
Midgets and ventriloquist dummies, about the same size,
Mark Normand for me is
so
number one.
Yes, I heard
Soup
him
to Nuts.
Today.
His new special is I've never come closer to pissing myself. Laughing.
Actually, I changed directions in my head. It's not even like an established like comedian. I'm gonna say Steven Crowder. Because what that dude does, even though he's like YouTubing
it
and
blends,
but he is
social comedy.
Yeah,
that's a good way to say it.
He kind of gives people the rope to hang themselves, and it gets funny.
Exactly. He shows how silly life is, like how silly people think life is.
And if you've ever tuned into a show and like actually watched it on YouTube or Rumble, the dude is one of the quickest wits that I've ever seen. And you can basically tell you're really good at it. I would give myself a little credit. I'm good at like the one-off shots. Like I'll see a spot and I'll just like snipe it really quick, and that's good for like a funny joke, and it's like in and out. But like I can't go on for minutes and minutes on a subject and just riff on it. Like I jump in and out, which is why I always work best with other people. Like put me in a panel and it's fine. Put me by myself and it's like, it's markedly less interesting. Like whatever. Steven Crowder can go on for epically long, like 20-minute rants and not take a break, and you are just splitting a gut.
Dude, I wish I had that skill, man, because it is a skill, and it's not something you can really teach.
It is.
It really isn't something you teach.
It's like watching a bulldog on a bone.
You know what? I'm going to actually argue that, by the way. I think it is a skill you can teach. Yeah, I absolutely. Would you like me to teach you how to do it right now? I can teach you exactly how to do it right now.
Sure. I was going to say, show me an example, but if you're going to make me an example, then let's do it.
I will absolutely make you an example.
But if we're gonna do this, we got to tee it up. So it can't be something that you get to. So I gotta give. We have to come up with like a.
It's a practice. It's not something that you can like it's not an exercise we're gonna do right now.
So we'll come up with something. Hold on, let's come up with something that's like objectively funny and give you like lots of. So let's talk about social justice warriors taking over campus buildings in like New York University or Columbia University, and then demanding humanitarian aid for their services.
And I'm supposed to riff
about that. Well, no, I'm getting it. No, I thought we were going to give it over to Tyler for like an example, and then he's going to teach us.
I'm just going to give you like a general global rule to follow, okay? Or a global exercise to do.
Okay.
And this is how I got really good at it. Is I eventually this transitions into entertainment value, but it starts off bone dry. Just talk your way out loud through whatever you're doing at all times.
Just start stumbling.
And that way you're training your brain and you're training your mouth to always be speaking about something. And eventually, once you become so accustomed to that, you've got to fill the time with something. So you'll pick a story out of your head that you haven't told to somebody in 36 of your 37 years on this earth, and somehow you magically remember this time when you were 1 year old, and then you can start to do exactly what I'm doing right now and just run away with it and riff. That's an exact example of what I'm describing to you doing. Is I am talking about what what is going in my brain. Now, for me, the bigger change was describing every detail about the picture that I'm seeing in that brain, just to make the sentence longer. My goal was always make the sentence longer, keep talking, keep going. Because on Twitch,
it's every sixth grader giving a book report about a book he didn't read.
Yep, exactly. It's bullshit. It's 1,000,000% bullshitting. But you eventually find your way to a topic that you do know about. And then you can
tie it back to 9/11. You'll get an A. That's what I learned.
Boom. Yep. There you go. So that was just when I made that argument with you that you can teach somebody how to do that. That is how you would start, in my opinion.
Well, honestly, that's how I get the military briefs. But it's just
there you go. Bullshit. Anyways.
Well, I don't have PowerPoint, so
Well, it's tough. It's tough. For a military briefing without PowerPoint, I don't think.
I don't think it counts really in briefing.
So this is a true story. I was I actually started off the military in intelligence, and a lot of people don't know this, but I was a signals intelligence guy.
I see why you cross-trained.
Yeah, oxymoron.
So I got. Thanks, Brandon. So I got out of that and I went, But anyway, so we were actually in the portion of the school where we were learning how to give briefs to people. And we had this guy in our class that was just not good at it. He just couldn't speak in front of people. Right. And so he didn't have like the WASTA, right, that we have here on this panel. I can't just get on. I can't just speak. Hey, sir, my name is so-and-so. This briefing that you're going to get is getting ready to be this classification. With that, let's go forward. Please hold your questions to the end. All right. So the situation that we're getting ready to jump into, I guess just the entrance to any single brief that you ever give. It's canned.
It's canned,
Think about it, and then you present yourself as well. Put one hand in the pocket. You give your best Ryan Seacrest, your best smile. And then you
I like that was good. Kid. Holy smokes.
You
talk about act like you've been there before. Jesus, look at this man.
Hold on. You point the laser pointer and then you go. And with that we'll continue, right? And then you go and you're into it, right? So anyway,
is there like an advanced class for like laser pointer drawing moves? Like if you really just quick do a heart up there.
So I have I have actually like gotten. So we try to draw dicks. We try to draw dicks on the board with the laser pointer, but it's like you can't get called out for drawing a dick. So you got to be like, you have to circle one objective and then circle the other objective, and then like point out like where.
Oh, that's awesome.
Was it the Navy a couple of years ago who got fucking busted for drawing dicks in the sky with F-18s? Was it?
Dude, the Air Force. Dude, when I was in Germany, they were doing that
or was it us?
Yeah, it was. The Air Force was doing it over Ramstein too, because I was at Vogelway before I PCSU.
I love those zipper-suited sun guns.
So many dicks, dude. Yeah.
Good job, Flyboys.
Somebody button bar that for the future. Just Brandon saying so many dicks, dude.
So many dicks, dude. Yeah.
Somebody save that clip.
So what you're saying is we effed Germany. That's all I've heard.
Not for the first time.
From the sky.
Yeah.
All right, that's true.
Been doing that for a while.
But anyway, so this guy just could not brief, man, and he just couldn't. But God bless him. He saw he saw his like the area where he was, woefully inadequate, and he goes, "But I'm really good." This guy was really, really good at PowerPoint.
Okay.
So we all got a chance to like
slideshows.
We all got a chance to like make our own slides, our own briefs on.
Was this guy just a master class?
Situations that they handed us. You're gonna brief this part. You're gonna brief this part, and they were all different operations. So this guy stands up, and he's the guy, and he's like hands on the the podium, and he was like, still can't brief, but he was like, all right, and he choked his way through it, and he's like, with that, so we're gonna get into it. And he clicked it, and every single thing on his slide started to animate, and it started to move. And then it went from there to like the situation spelled itself out. And then like things started to populate on the slide. And his whole slideshow was set up to a time standard. So
how many sergeant majors out there are erect from hearing this?
The commander's looking at this dude and then looking at the lieutenant like, you need to get on. You need to fucking get this level.
Somebody fucking hire that guy.
I know, right?
Yeah, because one of the things for our final briefing was that it had to be no more than 5 minutes, no less than 3 minutes. So they were timing that. That was the thing in the end where they had a stopwatch. So he set his for 4 minutes, 55 seconds. It would be done. And then basically he just watched the slide. And as the animations on the slide moved, he was just keeping up with them. And then his bullet points would populate as the animation would move.
Himself on the animations.
And that was
genius.
That was it. And then he had like
that is a fucking big brain move.
As Battlefield stuff started moving around the screen, he would have
I bet you
the tanks would drive across the screen and the planes would move. And he would he would just like,
can I ask a question really quick?
He was just watching it and reading his own bullet points. But
did he fucking hit the post at the end? Like, tell me, I want to hear this.
No, dude, he reached the end. He reached the end. It was the most anticlimactic thing ever because he reached the end. He reached the end and he goes, and that was my brief, sir. Do you have any questions? That's all he said. Because that was one of the things on the check sheet, because he was just reading the check sheet that we had. You know, you guys know in any military thing that you ever get graded on ever, they give the student the check sheet. This is what we're grading you on. There is nothing that we're surprising you with. And so at the end, he was like, he read the last checkbox. Is there any questions that you have, sir? And we looked up, and all of us students turned around in the class, and we looked back, and there was 3 senior chief warrant officers, a major, a captain, and an E8, a master sergeant in the Army. And they were all like,
can you teach us this skill?
And they were just looking at the screen, because all this stuff, it was like a movie. The PowerPoint was a freaking movie, and stuff was moving around the whole time.
What I was hoping for,
and this dude was like a D+ student the whole time through the course, and then
he's a sleeper.
PowerPoint
fucking sleeper,
and nobody knew. And it was just like, oh my god, it's the Rain Man.
I want to hear what I want to hear what Tyler was gonna say.
I was just hoping the end, like he hit the post. You guys know what I mean by hitting the post? Like you just fucking like right when you hitting the post would be like, you say the most perfectly timed joke, you take a sip of coffee, wink, set it down, and walk away into the sunset forever. That's hitting the post, right?
Yeah. No,
so I was expecting like all the animations to conclude, and it says, like fucking, big grand finale, and he turns around, does the big Tony Stark.
No,
and then
it was
the shockwave hits. Sorry, my brain's going a mile a minute.
No, you're good. It was more like watching that scene in the end of Napoleon Dynamite where he's like dancing on the stage, and then the song ends, and he's
Jamiroquai starts playing.
Yeah, and he's still like awkward dancing, and then he just kind of turns.
Oh my god, I haven't heard
Jamiroquai. And then he was like. And you just
there was no like Danny Glover at the end of Lethal Weapon, just diplomatic immunity has just been revoked. Right? No, nothing like that. Oh man.
No, nothing like that, dude. But it was he aced the final.
That's hitting the post right there.
He aced the final exam, and like the dude didn't score above
the PowerPoint slideshow was
on
the post.
Anything that he'd done before that. It was just like, holy crap.
That's you guys asked for it to save it as like an example for all future classes. Listen, if it's not on this level, just get the fuck out of here.
Actually, the cadre asked him to give them that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we.
How long did he? How long before he was poached into a new unit?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen that.
Commander support staff immediately. Yep. Get out of here.
100%. Yeah.
I have no idea. I haven't seen that kid since
I need to see everybody's PT scores in a slideshow like this every morning. Yeah.
No problem, third.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
Johnson got it. Yeah, exactly.
Much like yours.
What's the depth statuses for all these people PCSing? I need to know. Who are they with?
Dude, when I say everything on the slideshow was animated, everything was animated. Like it wasn't just like boxes.
It's like the Bulls, the 96 Bulls theme.
Boxes didn't start like just turning green. Like the boxes started flipping and turning green.
Oh my god!
Like words like scrolled across the page.
Stop
like
it.
Bullet
Stop
stuff.
it.
Dude,
I can only
there
get so
are
wrecked,
senior,
Chris.
there are senior enlisted right now that just can't take it.
Yeah. Dude,
they're just
oh my God.
like, what's
oh
it?
my God.
What's this?
Yeah. Oh,
Dude,
yeah, there's some captain out there who's like, LT, go get me my new shorts.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny though. And then we went out and we did the final exercise where we had to go do like a tactical exercise, and he was in the back of the stack again. Just hey man, there's no PowerPoint,
out there. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I know my role.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, we need you in the planning cell, dude.
Right.
There you go. Yep.
Take all the CQB and put it on PowerPoint for us.
Yeah.
Now that you've gone to work over on the fun side of the field, you better be starting to hunt that guy down. Start using some of those big boy checks from the government that you guys get. Hunt that guy down. Get him to start doing op plans for you guys. Get all that animation in there. Oh
yeah,
boy,
right.
we all
would
old
be
enough
stacked.
to where we should remember. Do you guys remember fucking like Newgrounds back in the day when you're like 8th grade? Did you remember? Did you ever watch like Zhao Zhao? Like the fucking stick figure death theater. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Bro, I made an entire stick figure death theater like episode on PowerPoint, and it was like stop motion. I just did like all of the fucking
every frame.
Yeah, every frame, like 300 fucking frames, and just like did like stick figure death theater at home. Like my mom was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And it just took me hours. But at the end, I just like hit play, and it lasted like a minute and a half.
Yeah.
But
I'm working, Mom.
No, you can't. No. There was no computer in your room in 2002. It was the dial-up in the living room. Okay?
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, you had the family computer.
You're right.
Windows
XP, just sitting there, fucking PowerPoint. But I did, dude. Like a whole like 90-second thing. It was amazing. Yeah. No.
Yeah, dude, and you created that.
I did. I wish I still had it because it's pretty epic, but.
And then he uploaded it to LimeWire, and it probably still lives, honestly.
It probably still lives
on
some torrent. Some torrent,
right? Yeah. In between Backdoor Hussies 3 and season 4 Game of Thrones, there's fucking,
Hey, I'm a big fan of Neverending Teens 4, okay?
Right,
so
yeah. Perfect. Oh, dude, Chris, you should ask him what his fucking 10 movies on his flash drive would be, dude.
Oh yeah. So we have this whole thing about you being deployed to a desert island somewhere, and I
think we've answered this on my show once or twice before too. I gotta remember.
Well, so your speedball is coming, and there wasn't enough space for. So you get a little hard drive in there, and it's only got space for 10 movies. Magically, it has space for 10 movies, but only 10. Yeah,
and varying length and size of movie. It just happens to be magically
could be the trilogy, the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It'll still fit 7 more movies.
Yep.
But those are 3. Those are 3 distinct movies. So yeah.
Okay, so what are my 10? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, we're gonna go because I'm an late 80s baby. I grew up, in the 90s. That was kind of prime time movie watching for me. So we're gonna have a lot of 90s classics in there. We'll have a lot of early aughts in there too. So we're gonna start off with the 2 powerhouse trilogies of the 2000s: the Lord of the Rings trilogy and the Matrix trilogy. The original 3 movies there. That's gonna get 6 for me right there.
Like, how do I hurry this answer up?
Yeah, how do I hurry this up, dude?
Yeah, he's like,
yep.
And then
fill the rest of it with Harry Potter, and we're done.
Right. Exactly.
Honestly, I don't think I'd go that. I like the Harry Potter movies. They can get kind of bally, but and specifically the extended version, because I am once again a pragmatist. And if I'm stuck with only 10 movies, they're gonna be the longest. Fucking put a Lawrence of Arabia on there. Sorry, that's my old movie joke. Yeah, I don't know if that's a real thing, but if I ever get into porn parodies, that is going to be the first porn parody movie I make. Is Lawrence of Arabia,
Harry Twatter,
yeah.
And don't forget about Plump Friction.
That just sounds like a fucking obese porn, dude.
It probably
Plump
is.
Friction.
I'm also fairly certain I stole that because that's already a thing. I guarantee you, if you Google Plump Friction right now.
Plump Friction is what's going on between Lizzo's thighs, bro.
There you go.
There you go.
And I'll take that image
end of the
for.
podcast. Yeah.
Images that make me want to bleach my eyes for 800, Alex.
Smells like Fritos.
So I got four left. I got 6 on the board. I got 4 left.
You have 4 left.
When I was in Thailand, dude, they had like shrimp flavored chips.
Oh god,
okay. That's what you just described, dude.
Shrimp. Oh man.
Fuck. Do I burn 3 more on another trilogy and just say Star Wars?
It's
okay. Oh shit. I don't know. I don't know.
Which one?
Well,
like
okay,
the original 3?
Yeah, OG.
The original 3?
OG.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, don't make us hate you at the end of the podcast. You know what I mean? Yeah.
You know,
made
you still
it
might.
So far.
I know, right?
You still might.
I have the high ground.
I don't know if I'm willing to commit to that. Like, I love my sci-fi. So only movies.
Right.
I can't do like a TV show or nothing like that. Like, I can't game the system.
Nope.
Okay.
No.
We'll stick with only movies. All right. There's a big part of me that wants to say, because I'm such a massive cyberpunk fan. Yeah, it's going on the list. Blade Runner.
All right.
Such a good movie.
I'm an absolutely massive cyberpunk fan. Cyberpunk aesthetic. There's also a big part of me that would like to say like not cyberpunk, excuse me, Blade Runner 2049 on there too, but I've only got 4 left. Let's see. Shit, dude, you got me on the spot here.
It's a lot harder like that, isn't it?
Yeah, okay, I'll go Carl Urban's Judge Dredd is going to be on that for me.
Wow, okay.
That is a fucking gnarly ass
it's a great movie.
Go back and watch that movie again.
That's watch
that movie again.
Forever.
It's a fucking gnarly movie.
It really is. Yeah, it was ahead of its time in the gore category. For sure.
Let's see. Like a lot of my entertainment over the last few years has been all TV or series now. So I've fallen away from
we've been talking about
movies.
We've been talking about this over here too because I went to go see Civil War back when I was in Fort Bragg the last time. In March, and there was like 10 trailers in front of that movie. Only 2 out of the 10 were not sequels, prequels, remakes, or anything. They were just original films, and one is like that upcoming film with Kevin Costner.
Oh, that looks really good.
Cowboy film, which is like the only movie coming up this summer that looks any good. And I can't remember what it's called. But like, yeah, dude, like films have just been shit. They're making a Bad Boys.
All fairness,
they're making a Bad Boys 4.
Yeah.
Like,
in all fairness, I think that we're still suffering from the writer's strike that was ongoing for a good long time. So I actually, for a good long while, we had a movie podcast that we did on Thursday nights.
Very cool.
As well.
Shit.
I
love
so
movies,
I've had some time to think about my responses for a comedy movie. Oof.
You got to have one of those. I was going to say, you don't have any comedy.
I'm down to 2, I think, right? 2 left.
Yeah, because you said Blade Runner. Well, no, that
I'm
would be
go.
3.
Yeah, and Plump Friction. So yeah, you're done.
You calm down. Okay, that doesn't count. Okay.
Oh, I counted it.
That doesn't count. Nah. That doesn't count. That's a freebie. Okay, that's a gimme. Everybody gets that one.
Right? Yeah.
Everybody gets one, Peter.
I just recall it in my head when I need it.
The Spider-Man bit. I know what you're talking about. Everybody gets one, Peter. I love that. What was I just gonna go with? Ghostbusters will be my comedy movie.
Dude, fuck yeah.
That's a
and for a good old
Marshmallow Man.
Fuck yeah, dude. Oh, I'm about to blow your goddamn mind.
Okay.
I'm about to blow your goddamn mind with this last one. You want to hit the nostalgia trip? You guys are all my age. Ready for a good old holiday film? Fucking Gremlins.
Oh my god, dude.
Don't get them wet. Don't feed them after midnight.
Mugway.
Gremlins, dude. Fucking Spike. Let's go.
I know.
All right.
I love Gremlins, man.
That's another one you should go back and watch. That movie holds up.
Because Brandon and I did like our first like come together podcast, right? Like our touch tips, cross swords, all that jazz, space docking podcast.
Right now.
Neither of us had Goonies.
My wife's gonna kill me. We just watched that.
I was thinking about that after we got off that podcast. I was like, damn it, because I would have taken one back and put Goonies on there.
Dude, Goonies is.
I kind of feel
Goonies
like
is a great film.
I kind of feel like my aggression
Dude,
in the trilogy department.
Mhm.
Shit, dude, I think that kind of fucked me because I could have dropped the third Matrix movie for the Goonies. I feel like I kind of got. I feel like I got fucked there.
You get a mulligan. You can.
We gave each other a mulligan because I was going to say like Matrix 2 and 3.
I'll take it. No, I like 2. 2 is okay. If you go back and watch that movie again with a fresh mind, it's a fucking dope movie. 3 is where it gets a little gnarly.
Yeah,
but
3 gets weird.
It's definitely 2 definitely gets fucking gnarly and fun. But yeah, I'll be the guy who takes my mulligan, and we'll toss the Goonies on in favor of
so you do take the Goonies.
The third Matrix. Yep, we'll
right.
take the Goonies. That is an outstanding movie. Yeah, dude, outstanding movie. Like one of the best and greatest movies of all time. It is near perfection.
So underrated,
insane, dude. Sean Astin, fucking Josh Brolin.
Yeah, Josh Brolin. Dude, I didn't know that was Josh Brolin for so long.
Right?
Oh yeah,
dude. Yeah. Fantastic.
And the fact that those two dudes are like that close in age. Like,
and
a lot of people
speaking of the Matrix,
realize.
Steve Buscemi is not Steve Buscemi. What's his fucking name? I'm
what?
retarded.
What?
No, excuse me.
Hello,
yes, I am.
hello,
No,
fellow
what's
Matrix
his
cast?
Yeah, right. Do you think that? Yes, that was fucking good. No, what's his fucking name? The dude from he's Cypher in the Matrix. He's in the Goonies too. He's one of the brothers.
Oh, yeah, he is. I can't remember that dude's name though.
Yeah.
Every time I put this steak in my mouth.
Bliss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, what is that dude's
Eating
name?
steak.
I don't know.
It's
Hey,
not
you guys
Steve
tell us,
Buscemi.
tell us in the comments. What's that dude's name? Everybody's
we
forgetting
can tell you who he's not.
Who he's
and
not.
that's
He's
Steve
not Steve
Buscemi.
Buscemi. Yeah.
Definitely not Steve Buscemi.
Comments from the cuck chair.
Yeah. That should be a segment.
Oh man.
Comments
should be
from
a
the cuck
segment.
chair? We'll
Anyway,
yeah.
Tyler. As we're winding down, man. Again, I just want to say again. This is Mike Tyson. I broke my back. Spinal. As
Everybody got a
we're
plan till they get hit.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
As we're winding down, dude, thanks again so much for
Thank you
coming
for
on the
having
podcast.
me. This has been an absolute blast.
Good. I hope you've had a good time. Please,
100%.
I hope that you would come on again. I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. If you ever need a couple of guys to come on Tundra Nation,
dude, 100%. Yeah,
for a little bit.
I actually, let's do it right now. I need somebody this Saturday night. So
either one of us, man. Like you got our numbers, whatever, or both. Like we'll show up. Just let us know. It would be great.
I could bring you guys both on if you wanted to on Saturday for my show. If you want to do it,
we do have Adam Dorito on
we
Saturday, but yeah,
okay,
so we'll just have to work out.
Saturday, every Saturday, 9 p.m. Central. Consider you guys an open invitation.
That's our time. 7
There you
p.m. PST. Yeah.
Yep. So 9 p.m. Central is when I start the big Saturday night show. It's the format is the first hour more interview talk kind of stuff like what we did here. Give the opportunity for the guests to pub the show or their show and their channel. And then the second hour we play a game called the Initials. And how this works is there's 12 sets of initials that one of my writers pulls up each week. Those sets of initials are all they're going to be person, place, thing, phrase, military thing, whatever, but they're all related in some way, shape, or form to firearms. All right, even sometimes like relatively loosely. We've had to expand it in a lot. So how the game works is you get a set of initials. I'll say, all right, boys, you guys ready? The first set of initials is JT, right? And then I'll give them 6 clues. So clue number 1 is some obscure clue, and they're
just related to the firearms industry, like
not even the industry. Honestly, at this point, it's just all kind of like in the adjacency of the communities associated with guns. So military history, gun history, historical figures, politics, things like that.
I need to know like how big. I need to know how big I needed to cast my net. Yeah, is what I'm saying.
Exactly, but it's usually very. I can read you examples of these from the past. Like, where are you, Coots Magoots, my writer? Let's see. So like one of them was AC, appendix carry, and the clues were associated with fear, connected to tactics, linked to everyday carry, related to precision holsters. One of my 82nd guys.
All cocks. AC, right?
Exactly. We have associated with a small tubular body part. You know,
I would just hold on to it all the way to the end. Yeah. All cocks. Yeah. I got it.
So we have like another one was less bear, LB. So related to reliability, connected to competitive shooting, associated with providing improved accuracy, linked closely and connected to 1911s, AR-15s, and bolt-action rifles, linked to Clint Smith's Thunder Ranch. And clue number 6, which is supposed to be the giveaway clue, the American manufacturer of custom firearms by the gunsmith of the same name, headquartered in LeClaire, Iowa. So this one's kind of a little bit more specific. But then we have like potato masher, related to infantry weapons, connected to World War I and World War II,
so you would have said,
Germany.
You would have said PM, right?
I would have told you PM is your set of initials, and then started reading you these clues. The point is, the cool, first clue starts out really ambiguous, and then it gets to pretty much a giveaway clue. This is not my idea. I completely ripped this game off from the radio show that I listen to religiously, FM 100.3's Power Trip Morning Show right here in the local area of Minnesota, KFAN, the Fan Sports Radio. I actually got the chance to meet those guys in Duluth at the air show and got invited onto the radio.
I was gonna ask you if you ever had an opportunity to do radio with your voice.
I have a couple of times actually, and I'm very I was just on the radio with them 2 weeks ago, and they invited me into the studio to talk about my time in the Air Force and to do some stuff there as well. So I mean, it's gonna be real fun.
I have the face for radio, so
yeah. So this that idea for that game, where what we do in our second hour, comes from them. They do the same game, although instead of the common piece there, instead of firearms, theirs is a single set of initials. So every week it changes. They'll have TM, and for all 12 points, they have the same sets of initials, but their categories are endless. It could be about anything.
Yeah.
So that's where the challenge comes from.
We play a little bit of a game on our channel too, and that's where we put up memes, and then we got people that come over, and the memes have been getting quite spicy.
Ooh, it's starting to sound like my community.
Yeah, and so I'm just wondering. I'm going to show you something here. If I can share my screen for just a second, and to get your take on this.
Dick?
No. Don't worry about that.
Okay, yeah. Close that tab. That was the other tab. I got you.
No, not that little guy. Don't worry about that little guy.
More game midget porn.
Fuck. So, if that's little, I'm screwed, Chris.
No, don't worry about it. But anyway, hold on. It's not helping me.
I know I have that problem too if I drink too much.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. Hey, come on up, little guy. Where are you?
Ladies and gentlemen, you're now listening to the dick joke section of the podcast.
Yeah, it's all.
This is where we've all run out of content to talk about, and we default to what we know best.
No, it's fine. Which is. But anyway, so I don't know if you saw this story, but this is one of the things that we're going to be pulling up on our live stream the other day. So Pope Francis, sorry for homophobic slur. Pontiff said there was too much. I'm not going to say it out loud, but it rhymes with gadgetry.
Well, agate with a capital F, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
So this meme has been viewed over 37,000 times at the viewing of this podcast, and has got over 650 likes.
Wow.
It was one of my throwaway memes, but I'd be interested to get your take on this whole debacle.
So this is real?
Yes,
this is real.
He really said this. He said it's like an old Italian phrase. He didn't actually say the word faggotry.
Sure.
The translation.
Oh, he said it. There, it's out there.
Who cares, dude? We've said retard.
Yeah, you're quoting something. Yeah. You're quoting something. You can't be held accouable for what you're quoting. It's not your words.
Yeah.
Sorry, FBI.
I mean, I guess you can be held accountable for things, but that you're quoting.
That was in the headline.
It was true.
Yeah, exactly. You're just reading something. So, I have a simple take on this. This is why we shouldn't let old people run things.
Right. The gerontocracy here in our country, right? You know,
like there are plenty of I get like the argument for letting old people run things is experience,
right? They
got
more experience.
Sure, I'm not going to debate that, but those motherfuckers got loose ass brain cells that are falling out their ears if they lean too far left or right in the morning when they wake up. So we like, there are plenty of really fucking smart, like 50-year-olds and like 45-year-olds and like shit like that got a much better pulse on society that wouldn't say shit like that. I mean, I'm not going to say shit like that. That's pretty kind of douchey, I would say to say.
If you can be too young for something, you can be too old for something.
Yeah,
that's
a good line. That's actually a good line. There. That's a really good line. You should coin that.
If you're making fucking decisions for everybody else and you're in your 70s, you're not even going to be around to see the fruits of your decisions. So why the fuck do you get to make decisions for me when I'm in my mid-20s or mid-30s that I'm going to live with, and you're going to be fucking dead?
Let me also kind of go back on. See, I'm already training for politics. I'm going to reverse my course here and say, like, if you got a proven track record of fucking knocking it out of the park, bud, sure, I'll vote for you. I don't care how old you are.
There's the bud again.
I'm from Minnesota. Come on.
I'm only serving it back to you because you sniped me out once before. I am a petty jackass when it comes to that.
I forgot what it's like working with you Green Beret guys. Anyways, yeah, so like that's once again, I talked about being kind of just like my life view, not even necessarily politics. I guess it spills over into my political view, but I am a pragmatist at heart. I just like people who tell it how it is, and that's a rare thing to see. So for me, once again, it's about evidence. If you got that evidence that you can knock it out of the park and be a good representative for me, you're going to get my vote. I don't give a fuck if you're 86 years old and about to kick the bucket, or if you're, you know, I forget how old Brandon is, but he's a pretty young guy. He's like 28 or something like that, and running for office in Texas. Like, I don't give a shit. Just show me you've got a proven track record, or pitch me your idea better than the other guy. So I don't want to necessarily say like I'm a political free agent, because a lot of the left I just can't deal with. Like, I can't, right? Come on, guys, seriously, wake up. The right does that to me too. I live somewhere in the middle
that's a really good point.
Most people are becoming more populist than they even really fucking realize, you know, because of how much the middle class has been neglected.
I can't hardline it, man. Yeah. I can't pick a side. It's tough for me. Like, I'm not gonna, like, once again, I'm a big gun guy, so you know kind of which way I tend to lean.
One side tends to be more two-way friendly than the other, but
yeah. But I mean, nobody's perfect. I guess that's the point that I'm trying to make. Like, nobody's really hit the nail on the head for me yet and say, hey, this is everything that you want. I'm sure that's never going to happen. That's unrealistic.
There is no metric for that, because a lot of people like to say, oh, well, if you're a veteran, then you'd be a good politician. But then you got fucking people like Eye Patch McCain, right, in Texas, Dan Crenshaw, who's a fucking piece of shit. Yeah, literally. The guy just ran on his fucking trident to get elected into his position, and he's just been fucking let down. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, he's not popular in our community.
No.
Fucking backstabbing prick.
Sorry, what? No, I think people are waking up to that too. I really do. Like, you know, it's a lot of the civilian marketplace sees the military is still one of the more trustable. The Department of Defense is still one of the more trustable organizations.
I don't fucking see why they look at us and trust anything. Have you
seen
the fucking commander's call and some of the sketchy shit that goes on?
I've literally looked no further than all the flag officers getting fucking relieved of duty for sexual assault.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's fucking all the corruption goes everywhere.
If you want to talk about the enlisted community that gets out, and then now we're talking about it like a different group of people entirely. That's why I want to see. I want to start.
That's for sure.
Right. That's why, like, you know, Joe Kent out here in Washington, Brandon Herrera, I was for. I know he's not a former military guy, but as soon as you start,
one of us.
As soon as you start like locking arms,
I'd say he's an honorary. He's an honorary one of us.
I'd be willing to give him that.
100%.
Like, I could see him as being like a former, you know, freaking infantry dude getting out of.
He probably
like,
fucking is, and just didn't tell anybody. Like,
I could see it.
Come on,
I could see it.
That's Brandon. Like, he's probably a fucking like hyper spy or some shit, like super cool badass guy. He just never told anybody. He just looks like he's that guy, right? He looks like he's Obi-Wan Nairobi, just ripping through malls, you know, just remotely ventilating T-zones from just with great ease. You never heard that one? Come on.
No, he does have the charisma, like
the Christian Craighead fucking reference just there, dude. I love that.
Yeah, right? I was gonna say if James Bond had a baby with like
I love that stuff. I love going down those rabbit holes.
Yeah, Jason Bourne, but then had the hair of like Thor. Then you would have Brandon Herrera, but then it was like
I have a claim to fame that I don't think anyone has proved me wrong on in relation to Brandon Herrera. I shot a bit of a sizzle reel for the first Iraq veteran shoot that I went to in 2018. It was my first time getting to meet Brandon after interviewing him a couple of times.
That's when I was in Syria, so.
Oh. Well, I was shooting machine guns just in Georgia at
fun.
Yeah, right, exactly, for fun, and at least didn't have to pay for the ammo. But anyways, we were down there, and I finally get to meet Brandon, and I think I can claim that I got the first hair by Herrera Brandon hair toss recorded on video. I think I have the very first iteration of it ever recorded, and it is up there on YouTube for all to see. The Iraq veteran shoot video sizzle reel that we did. You can see it twice.
Oh, twice. I wish I had hair like that, man. I've never grown it out all the way. I've never ever been.
That was Well, you're saying like this hair or this hair?
Oh no, like pubes? Just like yeah. Well, I grow my pubes out. It's a process. Just like luscious, like maybe some longer hair. I've never done that. So
fuck no, I can't do that. I lost all my hair at 19, man. That sucked.
Oh no, I've got hair. I've still got hair. I got plenty of that. Just I've never grown it out. Yeah. No, that's like Chris, man. He can't grow it on his face. He has to grow it other places. So
there you go. Yeah, dude, like, pubes are a thing, man.
They are, dude. And hair on your butt. Some people just have hair in places that monkeys don't. It's everywhere.
Yeah, it happens. But at least with the pubes, you got something to play with. You got a little braid you can do. Maybe put some beads in there.
Just a Viking,
jingle jangle.
Yeah, a little Viking beard coming down off your butt.
I like it actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe braid it right around the sack there to keep it warm at night.
Yeah, so you can literally take it to give your balls a tug. It becomes a little bit easier for process.
Give your balls a tug. Yeah, I like it.
Exactly.
I like it.
Yeah, man.
Let's tell Chris we're talking.
We should. We were talking about your scrotum.
Let's tell Chris we're talking about your pubes.
We were when you left.
To check out the podcast though. Where can they find the podcast, Chris? No, I'm kidding. It's your podcast.
The podcast about Brandon's pubes.
Yeah, we were talking about your pubes.
It's on onlycans.com.
There you go.
Find it
that was what we call a callback. That's a comedy technique.
I do, I try to keep them in the reservoir. So
I like it. The skills to pay the bills. What else we got? I know you said we're kind of winding it down, so I took the hint to stop talking quite as much.
Oh no, that wasn't the point.
I know.
On the other side of 2.5 hours, it's like anybody.
Has it really been 2.5 hours?
Yeah, 2 hours 31 minutes. Yeah, anybody that sticks with the podcast this long, it's like, bro, get a life. Like, put the phone down.
Yeah, we all
right. I talk a lot. Yeah, actually, can I go close? Can I go close circuit to the listeners, please?
Oh yeah.
If you guys have made it this far into this show, what the fuck's wrong with you? I'm sorry. I apologize because I talk so much. It's just what I do. I feel so uncomfortable when I have to sit there in silence. Like the anxiety I was talking about earlier gets the best of me, and I just have to start talking. So thank you for listening to me, and I apologize if I have endlessly annoyed you, and the only reason you're still listening is out of spite to hate my voice that much more.
Yeah, please. So get in the comments. Tell us everything that's wrong with Tyler.
That's what I do to you.
that's why his channel exists. Also, go over and see Tundra Tactical, guys. If you haven't seen them, go follow them. If there's anybody that's not in the I Came With Fire community that isn't like 2A people, this is a great way to get involved with it. This is kind of your gateway because you can talk about guns. You can laugh about people that shoot guns. It's like a gateway drug, and then eventually you're gonna find yourself, way down the rabbit hole, and you'll probably buy your first 1911, and you'll never look back.
Oh, Tyler, you'll be dealer.
Because that's really
end you.
Yeah. So I do have one more question.
Sure.
Before we leave, the FUDs, and I've teased it like 3 times.
Okay. Yep.
Why are we hating on the FUDs so
Why do we hate
much?
the FUDs?
I laugh every time we make the joke, but where does it come from, and why are we hating on the FUDs? Brandon, do you know what a FUD is? First of all, before we go.
I've heard that term before, but it can mean a couple of different things, so I'm going to let you go.
I will give you kind of a generalized definition.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
A FUD, it kind of used to be like the Elmer Fudd type person, like the hunting vest wearing kind of, exactly, the dopey, it kind of originally meant that, but it evolved into its current form which kind of means that anyone who's just stuck in their ways. Really, that's just the summary of all of that is, back in my day, or even like us GWAT guys, right? Like we're becoming the FUDs.
Right.
I just did a video on this where I've been hating on FUDs.
Quad rail's all you need. Why would you need
Why what you kids in your fancy M-Lock? I had fucking wrist too,
Red dots on pistols.
Yeah.
What? Like
fucking back in the day, integrated rail systems and quad rail cheese grater. That's why my hand's so tough, built Ford tough because of a fucking quad rail. Anyways, FUDs became that. They became this just hilarious group of people on the internet, whether they were old or young. Generally speaking, we classify them as older folks, but they really can be any age. And we're referring mostly to the people who sit in their echo chambers all day long, eat, drink, anally induced, like all of this copium that they can just cram inside of their bodies. And they live in that echo chamber and they say, what's mine is mine and I'm right and you're fucking wrong.
Yeah.
That's a FUD.
That's you.
That's a FUD. And we love making fun of them because they are so unbelievably easy. They write the jokes for you.
Yeah,
it is beautiful. The reason simply that we make fun of them, low hanging fruit.
It's like talking to anybody from the flat Earth community.
Yeah,
dude, for real. Those guys are all fucking smooth brains. I'm sorry. I mean it all the way. Did you guys
see that dude that I think 2 Mics Live played it the other night? There was this dude that was trying to prove that the Earth was flat. And so he built a rocket and launched himself up because he was going to fly. So he landed and crashed.
Let's be one less moron. He landed and crashed
the first time and walked like he was hurt, but he lived. And then he built the rocket a second time and just launched the rocket again. And then the rocket crashed and he died. So now, now he gets a
Darwin. Themselves. That's exactly. Like I watched that fucking Netflix special on flat earthers, and they spent like $30,000 on all of this equipment to prove the Earth was flat. And in their experiment, they literally proved
that I remember this. And
they're like, well, we just must have set it up wrong, Like, no, maybe you're just fucking idiots, and we figured this out a long time ago, right? Yeah. I want to see that needs to be reality.
What you're doing.
Show. Yeah, no, go ahead.
What you're doing right there with that kind of like frustration that you feel like, how can somebody be so dumb? That is the energy that I project into the FUD content that we do.
Right.
Is you sit there. It's kind of like looking at the people who want to take our guns away and just be like, how the fuck do you not see everything staring you in the face and are willfully ignorant to all of this? You're just ignoring it because it doesn't figure it. That's a FUD. Well, that is just the people in our community that do the same thing.
Anybody that advocates for getting rid of your personal liberties they don't understand the difference between freedom and living in a zoo. Okay, I made this analogy in another podcast. The lion is free to do what he wants in his cage. He gets fed, he's taken care of, he's safe. That's not real freedom. Real freedom comes with risk, it comes with responsibility, it comes with maintaining the liberties that you own, it comes with fighting them, and the Second Amendment guarantees those rights that you have. So if you want to give them away, then you don't deserve them. That's that whole, trading security for liberty comment, right? But this is a soapbox again.
Well, and I hate.
You're absolutely correct.
I hate the whole government argument of like, oh, well, these aren't the arms that our founding fathers were arguing for.
I don't
like,
give a shit.
They were talking about muskets, and I go,
well, they weren't thinking about Twitter when they were talking about free speech either. Yeah. So
did you know that the first United States Navy that the Congress hired were all privateers? So they were private ships that had massive cannons on them, and the government went, you know how long it would take to build a navy? Why don't we just hire one that's really good? And that's what we did. And so it's like, no. They were talking about people that had really big guns. And the whole point was that you should have the same. So when they go,
you should have equal or greater power to the government
and Brandon,
regardless of time.
Yeah, I'm going to step on your joke from last week, but the whole Joe Biden, like, you know what you would need to take on the United States government, man? You need like an F-15.
I should be able to have a Strike Eagle, dude.
I should be able to buy an F-15 then. Damn it,
exactly.
put it up on Facebook Marketplace. Like, I want to be able to bid on it tomorrow.
Listen, man, if you got a Toyota Hilux, a Dishka, and some fucking pajamas, you're good to go. That's it. That's all you need. That's all you need.
Technicals for days.
Yeah. That's it, man.
I mean,
just
you ain't wrong on either count, though.
Global War on Terrorism brought to you by the Toyota Hilux.
We are 2A absolutists on this channel too. It's just not our fight. We're the 1A warriors, but man,
you got one too, man.
Man, Tyler, it's been awesome to have you on it, to talk to you tonight. Thank you so much for the conversation. Do you have anything to say in closing as we're heading out?
Sure, man. Yeah, it's been an absolute treat being on the show with you guys, Brandon, Chris. Thank you for having me on. To the listeners, like I said, who've been stuck for almost 3 hours listening to me ramble on about absolutely nothing. Thank you guys for listening. You can find me over at Tundra Tactical over on YouTube, Tundra Tactical MN on Instagram, and most importantly, come hang out with me every single day of the week on Twitch. Don't even have to have an account to sign up. You just have to find me at Tundra Gaming Live, all one word. If you can't remember, think cold weather, games, and I live stream. Tundra Gaming Live right there. Tundra Tactical, cold weather, and guns. That's what I do.
Because it's all you have time to do there in Minnesota.
Pretty
Thanks
much.
so much.
That and a lot of playing with yourself. Guys, take it easy. Love you.